Alright, so where we last left off, as you all know, L'Manberg has been destroyed. Completely obliterated. It's a crater now.
That's crazy.
Alright, so, when we come back, Tubbo is still the president. He's the president of a crater. It's very sad, but he's gonna make it work. So he calls for a meeting with anyone left who supports L'Manberg, and he makes the decision to repair L'Manberg by building a city on stilts in the leftover crater. They're not gonna try and fix the crater, they're just gonna build the city on stilts. So
right on top of it.
Yeah, so that they don't forget their history. Alright, so Tubbo's cabinet officially is, I'm looking at my notes here, because I don't remember all of it. Then we got this guy, we got this, all the heads are all jumbled in my inventory now. We got this guy, we got, there he is. And, okay. So, Tubbo's cabinet, I'm gonna put Tubbo up here. Tubbo's cabinet is Carl, Quackity, Fundy, and Nikki. That's the official cabinet. Plus Tommy as vice president. So this is your leaders of L'Manberg. And also, Filza, who you all remember, Birdman, Filza becomes an official citizen of L'Manberg. However, Filza is friends with Techno from another server. And Techno brings him to show his underground bunker, and he's annoyed because the Pogtopians took basically everything that was in that bunker and essentially robbed him of more than they needed for the war. So, after this, Puffy joins the server. This is Puffy. This is Captain Puffy. And so she's in the server now. And after that, Eret. We all know Eret. Eret takes down the Obsidian Manberg flag and removes the golden throne in their castle because he is vowing to take it back someday. Now over here in L'Manberg, Quackity has decided to vow to make plans to fend off Technoblade. So he is going to rely on something he calls psychological warfare. So Tubbo, as one does. So Techno, as we all know, is a pig. So Quackity's plans involve hanging a pig in his base, they're going to litter his base with meat, and they're going to create something called the Butcher Army. Now Tubbo disapproves of this plan, because he doesn't want to have conflict. He wants as little conflict as possible given what conflict has already done to the server. So, the Butcher Army is put on hold for a little bit, as Tubbo, Quackity, and Fundy begin reconstruction on New L'Manberg. Now, this is going to look a little weird because this is not the correct head anymore, but I literally can't do anything about it because heads are based off the skins that the person is currently wearing, and he's not wearing the skin right now, so I can't do anything about it. Ghostbird joins the server. So you remember how I said, once 3 lives and you're out, can lives, and afterwards you're dead for real?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Wilbur has lost all 3 lives, so he has come back as a ghost.
Oh, he has the little Danny Phantom swirl in his hair now.
Actually, that's not Ghostbur. That's a different version of Wilbur that we're going to be seeing later. Ghostbur actually looks just like Wilbur, except he has a yellow sweater and his skin is gray.
Chin.
That's I can't show
So he's like
that.
a zombie?
He's a ghost.
Chin. Question, teacher.
Yes.
Teacher.
Okay, you kept cutting off, so all I was hearing was chin.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, all I was hearing was you repeating the word chin, and I was like, what about his chin?
Oh, wow. That... Yeah, I understand how that might be confusing. So,
okay.
For clarification, he's a phantom.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Okay, yeah, he kind of looks like Danny Phantom right here, but that's not, it's the wrong skin. I can't do anything about that. Just, Wilbur's back as a ghost. He's Ghostbur. He's Ghostbur.
What are you doing
now.
with pants, Ed?
Yeah.
Yeah. You out here just dripping right now in the brown pants, and you didn't. You know what?
Drip of brown.
Screw this business. I want to go home. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Come on.
What? Hey, we're not done.
Fuck.
No. You can come with us. We can do the lecture at the house. Am I right, guys? Am I right? Who wants to do a
Yeah.
lecture somewhere else?
Yeah, let's
Maybe
go get
somewhere
some
with
kids
some
to town.
ambiance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, everybody. This
Your
is
hou-
Tyler's house. He's not home at the moment.
Tyler's
I don't
house
know
has
where
a lot
he
of
is.
stairs.
This is an ugly ass house.
Yeah.
Let's
It's,
go.
That's because it's
It's
there's a lot of
90%
Uruguay
stairs.
flags here. I don't really understand.
Tyler's house is 90% stairs.
Oh yeah, his whole entire living space is just stairs, and then he has a roof.
Yo, there's McWhiteboards.
Yeah, there's whiteboards up here because
Oh, awesome! So we can continue.
Tyler likes to do this weird thing where he like films himself giving lectures to other people. It's posted on the internet, kind of weird.
All right. Well, hang on. I do need to do 2 more things because I had these up for clarification. And
Oh yeah,
We
that's
got more.
right. That's Cat and that's Mellow High. I
Yep.
remember. I
Good,
get
you're paying
treats for
attention.
that, don't I?
yeah, hang on. I don't
Yeah.
have room in my inventory for more shit. So hang on. I gotta. Okay, Cat will be over here. That's not Cat. That's Far. Hang on.
Are there more discs?
Oh no. There's more discs in Minecraft than just 2.
Well, I mean,
You didn't know
involved
that?
in the plot.
Oh no.
Oh. Now
I
that
just
would be a
accidentally picked
curveball.
up the
Does
wrong.
13 show
I
up
was
at
like,
all?
was that a spoiler?
Alright. So right now, Tommy has Melahai, where we're at, and Skeppy has Cat. Okay. Okay! So Ghostspur's here. We have Ghostspur. Now over here, Tommy and Tubbo, they go back to the Lemanberg embassy, and Tommy agrees that as a sign of trust, he's gonna give Melahai to Tubbo. So now Tubbo has Melahai. Okay? And Phil, oh, damn it.
Okay, Jackson, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Where's Ezri?
All right.
Oh my god! Oh no!
Ezri fell out.
He's escaped.
Okay, check this shit out. Check this shit
No,
out.
you're gonna kill him. You're gonna kill him. You are accidentally going to kill him.
Come hither.
Oh god. Okay.
I'm sick of being a goat. I hate it here.
Okay, well.
Return me to my.
Ezri's
human form.
evolving.
Okay, well, while that's.
Where did you put me? Thank you.
Where did you?
I'm sorry, Becky. I'm trying to escape your lecture. Apparently, I'm not in control of my body.
Yeah, you're a little possessed here. Oh my god.
What?
How hard is it to walk in a normal pace?
Oh my god!
All right.
I look confused.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh my god!
All right.
I'm in hell.
You're in hell with
Okay,
Ezri!
go in. I'm gonna block him. Yeah, keep going.
Yay!
My
All right. Problem
apologies
solved.
for being problematic. I can't help it.
Okay.
So basically, also,
Put him in a
Phil-
pin or something. I don't know.
That
So-
will not hold me. I can jump 20 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Put him in a cage. I don't know. Put a roof on it.
We will solve this.
Okay.
We'll
So-
solve
Please,
In other
continue,
news-
Becky.
In other news, Phil finds Dream's crossbow on the ground during the destruction of Lemanberg, and he gives it to Tommy. So now Tommy
Oh, that works.
Tommy has a super powerful crossbow that was Dream's. All right. In news of love, we got a new relationship coming around the corner. We got
Oh.
Quackity. We got Sapnap. And we got Carl. We got polyamory in this house.
And that's
Oh.
okay.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. They have a polyamorous relationship, and they all get engaged really fast.
Hell
they're
yeah.
U-hauling this. They're U-hauling
They're
this, and I'm
U-hauling it.
happy for them.
Is that for political gain or just because they love each other a
No,
lot?
it's just because they like each other.
Aw.
It's very sweet.
Okay.
It's not for political gain this time.
Tyler.
Quackity
Sorry,
learns his
Ed
lesson.
has a polar bear now.
Yeah, it's Tyler.
What?
Tyler the polar bear. All right.
Oh, so Tyler's here as well.
Yeah. He was just
Okay.
hanging up here. I
Would
don't know
you
why
like-
he's a polar bear now.
Hang on.
Yeah, like I
Um,
just found him in his room and he was like this.
Hang on.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Hang on. We're gonna really quick fix this. This is gonna be so long.
I'm in a cage now.
Okay.
This is simply the way it must be.
Can you
You
see
get a
through the
window.
cage?
That's it.
Yeah, I can
He
see.
could probably jump out of that.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's
Here's a
foolproof.
book. Oh, no, wait.
I can't.
Goat-
All right.
can't
Where's the
write.
panda?
Silly boy,
Where's
goats
the
can't
polar bear?
read.
All right. Here's the polar bear. There we go.
The polar bears chill. We don't have to worry about the polar bear.
I'm not the creator.
They're not the creator. Okay, we have a lecture. Let's stop.
Yeah,
Let's stop with
I'm
this.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Maybe it was a bad idea to carry it over to this house. I don't know. But we're gonna continue.
All
We're all
right.
troopers, right?
All right. So Carl, Quackity, Sapnap. They're a polyamorous relationship. We love them. They're doing great. They're having a great
Hell
time.
yeah.
All right. So now, bad boy Halo over here has decided to prepare a funeral for Schlatt, because as you remember, Schlatt had a heart attack and died,
Nice.
and it was
Right.
so while that's happening.
And that was his last life.
That was his last life. So Schlatt is dead, totally dead.
Rip Schlatt.
So, yeah. I mean, he was kind of an asshole, so nobody was really sad about his death.
Fuck
but
Schlatt.
okay. So, boom. Techno is now annoyed because his secret base is no longer secret and people keep robbing him. So he takes all of his stuff and he builds a brand new secret cabin far up north in a frozen wasteland. And it's called the Arctic. So he's up in the Arctic now.
Whoa.
He's just decided to fuck off to the Arctic. And honestly, I don't blame him. So, after this, we have Dream and Puffy. Now, the two of them go on a pretty intense griefing spree. They basically, like, destroy a bunch of shit. And and they decide that they're gonna blame Tommy. So they put signs everywhere claiming that Tommy was the one to do all the griefing. And when the people come back and they obviously get angry because their stuff was destroyed, Dream tells them, well, why don't you... We're gonna confront Tommy the next time he logs in. So he's basically sowing the seeds of hatred against Tommy. So while that's happening... So he's setting up Tommy to be hated by a lot of people. So... As you do, you know. You just gotta set people up. So, after this, Tubbo and Ghostbur... God, it's so upsetting to me that that's not the Ghostbur skin, but there's literally nothing I can do about it. So Tubbo and Ghostbur, they have a talk where Ghostbur reveals that he has been suffering from severe memory loss due to the whole I'm a ghost thing. So he has absolutely no memory of Schlatt. He believes that Pog 2020 won the election from the start, and it quickly becomes clear that Ghostbur can only remember Wilbur's happy memories. He has no memories that are sad. It's just the happy memories. So
is that a thing that applies to all ghosts?
No.
Oh.
Nope. This is just Ghostbur's situation. Ghostbur's situation, he can only remember the happy memories. He also enjoys let me get it. I gotta get some. Where is it? Okay. His favorite thing in the world is blue dye. It's his blue dye. And he says that if you give it to, he calls it his blue, and if you give it to people, it makes them not sad. So that's his whole shtick, is he gives people blue, and it makes them not sad.
So can everybody else see ghosts?
Yes. Ghostbur can be seen by everyone.
But they're aware of the fact that he's a ghost.
They are aware that he's a ghost, yes.
Okay.
It's not a secret. It's like, oh shit, he's a ghost. Here comes the ghost. So, anyway, going back to Schlatt's funeral. So, Schlatt's funeral is held by Bad, and it's attended by a bunch of people, among which are Tubbo, we got Fundy, we got Quackity, we got, where is he? Here he is. We got Sam, we've got Jack, we've got Tommy, Tommy goes to this, Aunt Frost goes, here's Aunt Frost, Puns. Basically, a lot of people are there. That's what you need to know. A lot of people show up to this funeral, and they all celebrate. They all celebrate this man's death, and they vandalize the memorial, and Tommy and Tubbo remove Schlatt's bones from the coffin as a joke, and during his eulogy, Quackity holds a eulogy where he basically just calls Schlatt a shithead, and he steals Schlatt's heart out of the coffin and eats it.
Oh my god.
Romantic.
Yeah, it's lovely. And so after this, Quackity and Tubbo throw Schlatt's remains into a nearby river, and Puffy collects them and later displays them for sale. No one buys them. So that's Schlatt's funeral.
That's what he deserved.
Yep, it's Schlatt's funeral. He was.
It sounds like the beginning of The Exorcist or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
All right, hang on. I gotta get all these people. So after this, where's Puffy? There's Puffy. Okay. So.
Fuck.
All right. What's going on? All right. So after this, Quackity decides he steals the rest of the bones out of the coffin and replaces them with glass. And he meets up with Bad, Sam, Puns, and Puffy. And Quackity reveals a plan. Now, he wants to take back L'Manberg, as he feels that since he was democratically elected in the original election, he deserves to have the power, and he wants the power. So he decides he's going to try and find a way to revive Schlatt back from the dead to use him as a political puppet.
God. Oh.
Now, he's like, I'm going to use him as a political puppet, and we're going to take back power. Now, Bad questions whether or not this is a good idea. Only man in this conversation with a brain in his head. But Quackity hands the bones over to Sam, and he puts Sam in charge of reviving him. However, Sam says, I'm only going to revive the body. You are in charge of whatever shit goes down afterwards. So Quackity says, okay, that's fine. So that gets pushed to the side. Ghostbur. By the way, it should be said, Ghostbur and Wilbur are considered to be separate characters, completely separate people.
Yeah.
So that's an important distinction. So Ghostbur builds a sewer underneath a crane of L'Manberg, and he builds his house inside the sewer, and he decides that he's going to archive a bunch of books of L'Manberg history. So he has a library archive of books from the server. It's very cute. So Sam discusses reviving Schlatt with Bad and Puffy, and he says, I don't know if I want to do this because I like Tubbo and I don't want to betray him. And Bad says, well, here, what if we're all having issues with Tommy, and Tommy's grieving, right? We're all having issues with that. So if Tubbo doesn't stand up to Tommy and say, hey, you can't keep grieving, this needs to stop. If he does not do that, we're going to bring Schlatt back. We're going to bring him back. And that's when we'll take back power. Now, Ghostbur also, after this happens, Ghostbur shows Tubbo and Tommy a book he's written called What I Remember. And now this is where some SBI elements come in. So this is more of a fandom note, but I'm going to bring it here because it's like such a huge part of the fandom that it's important. So there's this thing called MCC. It's called the Minecraft Championships, where teams of 4 compete in a bunch of mini games to win the championships. There was once a team with Wilbur, Tommy, here we go, Techno, and Phil. And they won. They won the whole thing. It was really great. And because of this, people paired them as like they're a group together. And because in the canon, Wilbur is canonically Phil's son, and in this book that Ghostbur says he remembers, Ghostbur says that he remembers sparring with Techno as a child. So these things kind of come together, and they group these 4 as a family. So people consider Phil to be the father, and then these 3 to be brothers. Now, Techno has said that in canon, and Phil has agreed with him, in canon, Techno does not see himself as Phil's son, and Phil does not see Techno as his son. But also, 4 versus 4, and canon can suck it. Okay, they're a family. It's really great. But this is just me, okay? They're a family. They're a family. Okay. So after this, a few tiny things happen. One of the things that is noticeable. Oh, thank God! For a second, I thought I got rid of Will's head again. I was going to be upset because we don't have Tyler here to fix the problem. So, Ghostbur pulls a lot of pranks while invisible. For a little bit, he follows Fundy around, completely invisible, and starts placing signs down. One of the signs says, "Hi, son." It's very cute. And Ghostbur builds a note block stand in Lemanberg, and Phil decorates the stand with signs to read Wilbur Soot, greatest musician in town. Please subscribe, and this delights Ghostbur. This isn't important to the story at all, but it's important to me that you know that.
It's your lecture.
It's important to me that you know that. So, now we have Connor. Again, this is one of the low periods in the server. Like I mentioned, there's high and low periods with a lot of intense action, and then there's low periods where, like, little stuff happens. This is one of the low periods. Connor builds a bunch of American flag banners and hands one to Ghostbur, and Ghostbur burns it because he's disgusted
Why?
by the concept of America. Which, I mean, fair.
We live there. We get it.
Yeah, we get it. That's fair enough. So, after this, we have Vicstar and Laser. These two join the server on the same day, and they decide to stick together, and they team up to build their residential area, which is known as Boomerville. Yeah, they build Boomerville, and it's by Purple's new base. So they're chilling in Boomerville. They really don't do much in the lore. I just figured it's important to mention Boomerville because it's a residential zone, and, you know, part of the story. Part of the story. So, trying to get all the heads in order. So, since Wilbur is dead, right? Since Wilbur is dead, Fundy's an orphan. This is concerning on a number of levels, because Technoblade has a bit of a thing where he likes to kill orphans.
Because, of course.
One does.
Yeah, as one does. As one does. So, Erit comes in, and she says, "Hey, would you like to be adopted? You have no parents, and I feel bad for you. So I'm going to, if you would like, I will adopt you." And Fundy says, "Yes, I would love that." So Fundy is dubbed Prince Fundy, and Erit writes up an official certificate of adoption. However, they both agree that since Phil is Fundy's grandfather, so he's technically still a guardian, as he's Fundy's last living relative, so they decide that he's going to have to sign off on it before the adoption is finalized. So,
Wait. Question.
Yes.
Fundy was the only person who was naturally born in Lemanville, right?
Yes, Lemanberg.
So does this, like, passing on the torch in a way? What kind of, like...
What do you mean?
Because, like, you said they were relatives. In what way are they relatives?
Wilbur is Fundy's father.
And then, like, what about the kid with the hat?
Phil is Wilbur's father. So Phil is Fundy's grandfather in canon. See, because...
Okay, I'm gonna try and...
Yeah, hang on.
I'll try and figure that one out.
Hang on, I'll lay it out on the board really quick for you.
Okay.
So,
family tree, let's go.
So, Phil is the father of Will, who is the father of Fundy.
Okay, so I thought
Grandfather.
Phil was Fundy's son. That's where I got confused. My bad.
No. You got it backwards.
Opposite of that.
Yeah. Opposite. Grandfather. So this is the family tree. This is what we're looking at. Oh, also, it's revealed in canon that Wilbur's mother is a Samsung smart fridge.
So
splendid.
That's not a joke. That's not a joke. And I hate
that it's
not a joke.
Fish and smart fridge.
Yeah, so this guy, right, the guy at the top, he bangs the smart fridge and gets this guy. This guy then bangs a fish and gets this guy.
That explains why they all look dramatically different.
Yeah. Apparently,
there is no family resemblance.
Apparently this guy plus fridge equals brunette.
Mankind and technology is becoming inseparable.
This guy plus fish somehow equals fox.
Jotaro fox hat, man.
Oh my god, you have your mother's coolant.
Oh my god, stop.
You have your mother's what?
cooling.
Jesus Christ. Oh, also, I wasn't sure. Do any of you guys watch Bleach?
No.
Like the
Ed's a
anime?
resident Bleach expert, and he doesn't
Am
know how
I?
to watch Bleach. You know more about
okay.
Bleach than I do.
Okay,
Yeah,
this guy,
but-
Phil's skin is based off the guy from Bleach.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, you knew that. That's why you're the resident expert.
I
Yeah.
don't know the guy's name or what he does. I'm like, oh, that's.
Oh
a
no,
Bleach
me neither.
character.
But people joke because the guy Phil, as like a content creator, really loves like anime and Bleach, and so people joke that he made his skin that just so he could accidentally get a bunch of people to draw fan art of Bleach.
You know what? That's smart.
I saw that, and I thought it was Mello from Death Note with like a striped hat.
No.
That's
But
Bleach,
yeah,
man.
Fundy's hat is
Yeah,
actually a
Bleach
JoJo
Man.
reference. Like his hat actually is a JoJo.
Yeah, it's the Jotaro hat.
Yeah, I don't know anything about
Wait, let
like
me get a
JoJo's
good
Bizarre
look at it.
Adventure, so
You
Oh,
wrote
yeah,
it in
that
your
is,
notes,
yeah.
Ed. I read them.
I was writing the screenplay for Scott Pilgrim.
okay.
Yeah, and I was blowing my nose, and you were losing your sanity. I read that in your notes too. I'm
All
sorry
right.
about that.
So, continuing on. Tubbo begins enforcing his new policies as president, and he begins to write them down in a book titled First Decrees that he puts on display in the newly repaired Kamar van. And these policies are, there's no armor allowed in L'Manberg. Now, this has been a rule since the beginning of time. I just haven't mentioned it before. So he's continuing the legacy of no armor in L'Manberg. There is a ban on destructive weapons, such as TNT. And he decides to enforce an election procedure so that all leaders of L'Manberg after him are democratically elected. And he sets the next election for a few months from there that he's going to participate in. So he's all about keeping things peaceful and all that stuff. All right. So, Fundy informs Ghostbur that Eret wants to adopt him. And this is very stressful for Ghostbur. So he leaves and he goes to talk to... Where did I put his head? There it is. He goes to talk to Phil. And Ghostbur asks Phil about his past life, as he doesn't remember any of the bad stuff. So he doesn't remember any of the bad stuff. And he basically asks him how horrible he was, to the point where his son doesn't want him as a father anymore. Which is really depressing. And Phil basically tells him that he was a good person up until the end, where he made some bad decisions and went a little crazy. So, this is actually a really sad stream. Like, he breaks down crying. It actually makes me really sad every time I watch it. But, alright, so Fundy and Phil meet up to finalize the adoption, because as I said, they decided that Phil should be there to sign off since he's the last living relative. However, Eret, where's Eret? There he is. Eret does not show. So he doesn't show up, which makes Fundy upset, because now he feels as though he's been abandoned by yet another parental figure. So to calm him down, Phil takes Fundy down to some docks and teaches him how to fish, because Fundy claims that he's never had a father to teach him how to fish. So Phil teaches him how to fish. And then Ghostbur arrives and he tries to talk to Fundy, but Fundy becomes annoyed because Ghostbur is refusing to talk about anything that makes him sad. So Ghostbur leaves in a panic. And that's that. That's the family drama for the week. Okay, now everybody, put your hands together for the boy who has single-handedly taken over the entire internet. November 27th, Ranbu joins the server!
Oh, this motherfucker.
I literally have this written down in my notes as, hey, howdy, hey, it's my favorite boy. That's what this is written in my notes.
All right. This is your opportunity. Convince me of this man.
This is my favorite boy. All right. So, Ranbu. Now you can say it Ranbu or Ranbu.
Oh wait, is this the VTuber guy?
No.
Is this Corpse?
No.
Oh, is this Corpse husband?
No.
No, I've heard of this guy at least. I know that.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if he wouldn't, because like every time he streams, he goes trending on Twitter, basically. So.
Oh wait, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I love
He's
this guy.
real.
I love this guy.
Oh.
He is. You might be
God.
thinking he is faceless. He's not a VTuber, but he's faceless.
Alright.
He doesn't ever show his face because he is really uncomfortable with it. So anyway, Ronbu joins the server, and we're all better for it. Oh god.
Oh, fuck me.
Oh.
Jackson, you gotta like move around and stuff,
Yeah,
dude.
you can't.
Sorry, I was
Jack,
eating
you're
burger.
over here drawing and moving around.
Yo, what's going on?
Okay, so to get into the server, Ronbu, in quotation marks, hacks. He says he hacks into the server, but it's a bit. So he hacks into the server for the very first time, which prompts Dream to hunt him down and kill him 3 times. And and this prompts Ronbu to go sprinting to the Holy Land, and he eventually reaches it, and Dream backs off, because, you know, nobody can kill you when you're in the Holy Land. That's the rule. So, anyway, Ronbu's in the server now. So... Puffy and Nikki go on a date! Puffy and Nikki go on a date. It's a very cute picnic date. We love lesbians.
Oh,
They're great.
Let's go with
there are
It's fantastic.
canon lesbians in the Dream SMP.
Canon
Love that.
lesbians on the Dream SMP. Alright. So, although Nikki has said please don't ship her with any of her friends, I'm going to put that in there as a in
Very
preparation
fair.
for comments. Please don't ship her
Yeah,
with
don't
any of
do
her friends.
that.
Because you just don't do that with, like, anyone on the server if they say they're uncomfortable. That's really freaking weird. But character-wise, Nikki and Puffy go on a date. It's very cute. We love it. And the two of them collect a bunch of materials to build a flower shop where their picnic was. It's very cute. It's very sweet. Alright, so now we're going to get into a high point. So we're out of the low points, we're getting into, like, the action. So Tommy invites Ronbu on his second day in the server. Now, Ronbu is very hesitant, but he goes along with Tommy. Because Tommy wants to rob and grief... Where's the right head? There he is. So Tommy wants to rob and grief George's house. Remember the house that George built while the war was going on? Tommy's going to go destroy that. So he drags Ronbu along with him, even though Ronbu doesn't really want to go. And now the griefing gets out of hand because they set it on fire, and then the fire spreads and destroys a lot of the house.
The classic.
A lot of the house gets destroyed. So Nikki and Puffy hear about this, and they go and they put out the fire. And then when they return to building their little shop, Ronbu and Tommy help to build the roof of their shop. They stop by and they help building the roof of the shop because they're hoping to use them as an alibi. Because, oh shit, this got way out of hand, and we legitimately destroyed like half a house, and we did not mean to do that. So, alright. So after this, Tommy leaves, and Fundy pops in. Where's my Fundy head? Shit, did I get rid of my Fundy head? No, I didn't. There he is. Okay. So, after this, Tommy leaves for a bit, and Fundy pops in, and he and Ronbu decide to build an ice cream shop right next to Puffy and Nikki's flower shop. So these four are building a bunch of little shops. And, however, Nikki and Puffy, as they're building, they spot something weird. They spot Dream. And Dream is building giant obsidian walls around L'Manberg. Now, this is a problem. So, Fundy, Ranbu, and Tubbo, they all arrive to see what's going on. And Dream also attempts, y'all remember a little thing called Manifold Land? Yeah, he starts burning down Manifold Land and building this huge wall around L'Manberg. And so Puffy and Nikki save Manifold Land, so Manifold Land lives to see another day. And Dream announces that since the Pogtopians forcefully took L'Manberg back, the old government has been replaced. And all peace treaties with the old government are now null and void. And, you know, so Tubbo says, well, why are you doing this now? We've been like, we did that a long time ago, why are you doing this now? And Dream says, well, why don't you ask Tommy? And then he leaves. So they're all like, what the hell? What's going on? And Nikki and Puffy say, well, we saw Tommy near George's house. So they're like, okay. So they all go to George's house, and they find it a smoking crater of what it used to be. And they go, oh, no. Because George, if you'll remember, is the king of the SMP. So by destroying his house, they've basically done an act of damage directly against the SMP, which is not a good thing. So, Tubbo states that he regrets making Tommy his vice president.
Wait, quick question.
Yes.
Is this the same guy that was building his house during the war?
Yes.
All right, that's cool. Yeah. All right.
It's been destroyed, and now that destruction is about to cause them a lot of problems.
Dun dun dun.
So they call the people of L'Manberg. They call a meeting to figure out, to make a plan, assess the damage, hopefully make a new peace treaty. You know, do something to make up for this destruction. The funniest part about all this is that George doesn't care. Like George comes back and he's like, oh, my house is destroyed. All right. And then just repairs it and doesn't care, like, at all.
Just playing Minecraft.
Yeah, Dream is the one who has a problem. So Tommy logs back on, and Tubbo's like, well, what the hell did you do? Why did you destroy this house? And Tommy says, I never griefed the house. That wasn't me. I didn't do anything. So, where's Quackity? There he is. So, Fundy, Tubbo, Tommy, and Quackity, as part of the cabinet, alright, they hold a meeting to discuss the situation. And they make contact with Dream. And Dream says, Dream says that he always disapproved of the new government, but he only decided to take action once Tommy had actually stepped out of line and directly affected the SMP by destroying the king's property. So this is Tommy's fault, is what he's saying. And Dream says that he wants to see Tommy properly punished for his actions, and if he isn't, the wall will be built higher and, in quotes, more will happen. Now, Dream and Tubbo have a private conversation about this. And Dream warns Tubbo that Tommy is a threat to server peace. He says he's a threat. As long as he's around, we're not going to be peaceful. So he suggests exiling Tommy from L'Manberg. However, Tubbo feels that is too harsh. Tubbo says, I don't know if I want to do that because that's a bit too harsh a measure. So the situation becomes a legal one. And Tubbo is the judge. So they all go to the courthouse. And George is there, and George says, I didn't just see Tubbo. I didn't just see Tommy at my house. I saw Ronbu. So now Ronbu is pulled up to the stand, and Ronbu reveals that he has extremely short-term memory loss problems. So he can't remember anything. And this is not a bit. I need to establish this is not like a excuse to get him out of being like, oh yeah, it was me. He genuinely cannot remember that he did this. So Tommy then steps up and he covers for Ronbu. And he says, you know what? Ronbu wasn't involved. Ronbu wasn't involved at all. It was all me. I did it.
Oh, I was
worked
expecting
alone.
the situation to be the opposite.
Yeah, nope. It's actually showing off that Tommy is actually very selfless when he needs to be, which not a lot of people talk about, but a lot of people should focus on this moment.
Aww.
Looking at you, fandom. Looking at you, fandom. Anyways. So Tommy says, it was me. I did it all. Ronbu wasn't there. There you go. So instead of exile, the group first decides to subject Tommy to a probation, where his title of vice president is temporarily stripped, and he must report all of his daily actions to Fundy. Now, he doesn't like this, but Tubbo shuts him down and reminds him that due to his position as vice president, everything that he does affects the nation as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So Dream meets with Tubbo, and he says, I don't like that it's just probation. I want him exiled. I want him out. However, he agrees to give Tubbo some time to think about it, and he sets a date for Tubbo to make his decision. Alright, so Quackity becomes vice president, Tommy is stripped of his power for the time being, and this is where we're at for now. Now, Puffy is considering joining a side. She's not sure whether or not she wants to join the Dream SMP officially, or if she wants to join L'Manberg. And while this is happening... Ed?
Rip Ed.
Oh, he's got. Oh no,
Ed, are
Tyler.
you even still there? All right.
Tyler, not the
Tyler's
creator,
off
is
the
free.
shits. I gotta keep him gone.
Tyler, not the creator, is free.
All right, you're mine now.
Okay.
I mean, not like in an ownership kind of way. I mean, like I'm leading you. Whatever. It's
Dude,
weird.
I went to go
Continue
get.
lecture.
Ah. All right.
You're mine now.
Oh, there he is. There he is. He's back.
Sorry, I went
Fucking
to go,
freak.
like, heat up
He's
some
here.
microwave food.
Yay.
All right. Do you want your
Tyler, not the creator.
Oh, I can't.
Wait, can I rename him Tyler the Destroyer?
Okay, hang on. Do you have an anvil? Yes, there's an anvil.
It just
behind you.
rolls
Okay,
off the
I'll
tongue
throw you a
whenever.
name tag. Go ahead, do that. Alright, so Puffy considers joining a side. She's not sure if she wants to join the Dream SMP or Lemanberg. And while she's trying to decide, Dream pops up and silently follows her around the server for 30 minutes.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
He
Dream's
just
just stalking
starts-
one of the few girls on
Yeah,
the server.
yeah, it's a little disturbing when you put it that way.
Dream
But he just starts following her around wherever she goes. And
Wow.
you would think you would find this disturbing, but Puffy thinks it's adorable. And she
Uh-oh.
men do not get ideas. This does not work anywhere else.
Dream gets canceled.
This does not work
Again.
anywhere else. No, but okay. So Puffy decides to nickname him her little duckling. She thinks it's cute. She thinks he's like a little kid following her around.
That's so gay.
And this all right.
In the good or bad way.
The best way possible.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right. So this
Next.
this solidifies the headcanon that I believe, I'm not entirely sure actually if this is canon or not, but this starts the headcanon that Dream is actually Puffy's son.
Oh.
So he's her kid.
Oh.
now. It's like a whole thing. It's very sweet. However, Nikki Puffy does decide to stay loyal to Nikki, as Nikki is in Lemanberg, but she does say that she may end up aligning with the Dream SMP because she doesn't want to abandon Dream. So here we go. Tubbo and Ranboo, they construct a meeting room in the Holy Land. So the idea is so that the meeting with Dream is in the Holy Land so that nobody can kill each other, because these things tend to go off the shits really fast. So the idea
Do you think?
being in the Holy Land is an idea as to how
Why
to
is the meeting
circumvent
went so
that.
well, though?
Now, Ranboo is assigned the role of Minutes Man, so he's supposed to take notes during the meeting. What happened? How did you get in there?
Shade.
I was just hanging out on the top.
Well, that's unfortunate. Do not let Ezri out.
I was willing to just stay there. That was my fault. I was gonna accept the
Okay.
punishment.
We
Alright.
shouldn't do these in Minecraft anymore.
No, we really shouldn't.
Maybe not.
There's so much to distract. All right. So Ranboo is assigned the role of Minutes Man, so he is in charge of taking notes during all the meetings, during this meetings. So before this meeting, let me get my proper heads. We got to get George. We gotta get.
Oh boy, George is coming back.
We gotta get George. We got.
Is someone going to destroy his house yet again?
We got George, we got Sapnap, we got Puns, and we got Quackity. All right. So George, Sapnap, and Puns all decide to build a new city in the sky in order to overshadow Lemanberg. And George manipulates Quackity into joining because he promises him the role of president, and Quackity wants power. Right? So Quackity abandons his quest to become the new president of Lemanberg because now he's been given the role of being president of this new country. So, however, George realizes that as king, he has to stay neutral in his position. So he schemes with Quackity to build real estate in the Sky City so that they can make it appear as though
Right.
Lemanberg can also benefit from the new city. So
Okay.
if Lemanberg can benefit, then technically George is being neutral. That's his plan. It's not a very good plan, but whatever. It's the plan he comes up with. Also, while this is happening,
It's the plan.
so Ranboo, since he was given the title of Minutes Man and he starts writing things down, he realizes that writing things down that happen, that's going to be helpful for his problematic memory. So he begins to write down all the events that he goes through and witnesses so that he can remember them better. And these are called his memory books. They are very important. We're going to come back to that later. So, Quackity and George have decided to name their new country Mexican Lemanberg.
Okay.
With Quackity...
Elmanberg by chance?
Is
No,
this where
Layberg.
Mexican Dream comes in?
What?
Is this where Mexican Dream comes in?
No. For some
Does
reason,
Mexican
no.
Dream ever come back?
Yes.
Fuck is Mexican Dream?
But not in Mexican Elmanberg.
Not in Mexican Lemanberg.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Alright, so Quackity and George decide to name this. I can see why you'd think that, but no, that's not what's happening.
I hope you could see why I would think that.
So Quackity and George decided to name the Sky City Mexican Lemanberg. And Quackity, he attempts to get Dream to join the nation. However, Dream refuses. He says no. And now Tubbo's over here, and he looks at Mexican Lemanberg, which is now in the sky, a little bit off of Lemanberg, and he gets a little bit worried because, you know, that doesn't look good. So, however, Quackity talks to him, and Quackity says, look, it's fine. The real estate is gonna benefit you guys. And it'll be great. So Tubbo agrees to coexist with the country, even though Fundy doesn't want to. And Quackity, in a show of thanks, appoints Tubbo as Secretary of State of Mexican Lemanberg. So now Tubbo is President of Lemanberg and Secretary of State of Mexican Lemanberg. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a lot. It's so much. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say yes.
Yeah. So, all right. So, let's see here. We're gonna get... Where's Fundy? I keep losing Fundy. Okay, there he is. I keep losing... All right. So, the cabinet members have a talk with Tommy before the meeting. And they say, hey, man, now you need to calm down, because if you like lash out during this meeting, this could end very, very poorly for us. So they go to the meeting room where Dream is waiting. Ronbu is also waiting. He's Minuteman. And so they come to the agreement that Tommy's probation will be extended by 3 weeks. And if he acts out within one of those 3 weeks, the probation will be extended until he turns 18. Now, reminder, in the actual world, he is 16 at this point. So it would be a while, is what they're saying. So if he acts out, the probation is extended until he's 18. And so a contract is made up and signed. However, after signing the contract, Tommy turns around and says, hey, does anybody have an ender chest? And Dream does. So Tommy takes the leather of spirit out of the ender chest.
No.
Here we fucking go again.
You remember Spirit? The goddamn horse? So Spirit...
Been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, been a while since Spirit came around. So he takes the leather of Spirit out of the ender chest. And, hang on, I'm trying to bring up a clip. What?
Forgot that crawling was a thing in Minecraft now.
Okay. So,
I did too. Laying on the floor.
Wait, what is that?
Alright. Okay. So, Tommy takes the leather of Spirit, and he says, you know what? Skeppy and Tubbo have my discs. You have nothing over me. You have no power. And he says, I'll tell you this. If you don't go and take down the walls that are surrounding Lemanberg right now, I'm going to burn this leather. I'm going to destroy it.
No.
And Quackity and Fundy are like, holy shit. And they immediately join his side and they say, okay, yeah, Dream, take down the walls. You've got no power. Let's do this. So they all travel back to Lemanberg. However, they all travel back to Lemanberg to watch Dream take down the walls. However, Dream suddenly stops taking down the walls. He starts placing them back up again. And Tommy goes, what the fuck are you doing, man? You don't have any power. I have all the power. I'll burn this leather. And Dream goes into this little speech. And I'm gonna play this because this is an experience to hear. Alright. Okay, here we go.
Okay, listen, you fucked up this time.
Oh, they said the F word. Oh, no.
That's fine, please. No. I don't give a fuck about Spirit, okay? I don't give a fuck about anything, actually. I care about your discs. I care more about your disc than you do. That's the only thing I care about in the server, actually. I don't care about Spirit. Spirit was my horse. Died ages ago. I care about your disc, because that's what gives me power over you and your friends and everybody that you care about, because you care about your disc more than anyone else here. So if you are not exiled from L'Manberg, I will build these walls until they reach this block limit. I will keep everybody inside. I will hire guards, puns, and sap that to patrol all around the entire walls, keeping them inside. No trade, no one leaves, no armor, or they get slaughtered inside. Don't try and threaten me. I don't care. I have lost all care for anything in here.
So yeah,
Don't
Tommy's fucked
care.
up.
Damn. Dream just said Berlin.
What's that? It's Berlin time.
Jesus Christ.
Berlin time.
Oh
Don't
my
care.
god. Okay. So,
Okay.
don't care. Yeah, so he doesn't that's become a bit of a meme of people going, I don't give a fuck about Spirit. Just like this whole thing. So
Poor horse.
yeah, the horse died like months before this.
Yeah, but still.
The horse doesn't care. Alright.
Okay.
Bro, I have the dead leather of your Minecraft horse. You better take down your walls right now.
Alright. So Dream gives Tubbo 3 days to exile Tommy, or he's gonna make good on his threat, and he leaves. So Tubbo and Tommy get into a fight over this, and Tubbo accuses Tommy of having no respect for him and being selfish as he's put the discs over the well-being of the nation. And Tommy says, well, I think you're becoming a little bit of a schlatt, you know? You're present, all you care about is the nation. I think you can't become the next schlatt. And Tubbo looks him dead in the eye and says, well, if I can't be the next schlatt, then you can't be the next Wilbur. Which is, Jesus Christ, Minecraft server. What are you doing?
Hi.
What are you doing?
Demerit.
Alright.
Hey.
I'm just out here hanging in random spots. I don't know.
Remember when
So-
you threatened us with starvation?
Nice.
You need food?
Do you need food?
I'm in creative mode, remember?
Oh, right,
Oh,
right,
yeah,
right,
that's
okay.
right.
Okay. Alright.
Oh,
So,
Thank you for the
so. Ranbu speaks
There we
with
go.
Ranbu speaks with Tommy, and he says, alright, I'm gonna talk to Tubbo. We're gonna work this out. I don't want you to be exiled. So, anyway, while that's happening, Phil helps Technoblade to get the rest of his pets up to the Arctic base. He had left some behind, and he wanted to get them all back. So, as thanks, Techno gives Phil a compass that points directly to his base so that Phil may find him whenever he needs. So that's one thing that's going on. And in an attempt to get on Tubbo's good side, Tommy makes plans to restore the drug industry in L'Manberg. So he's like, this'll help, I'm just sure. And so yeah, he's like, obviously nothing could go wrong with this plan. So I'm glad you're so enthusiastic about drugs.
Let's go.
So he teams up with Sapnap and Ghostbur and Connor, and they say, "All right, we're gonna bring drugs back to L'Manberg." However, so Tommy gives Tubbo 2 swiftness potions, and he apologizes, but Tubbo doesn't seem to be swayed. Tubbo's like, I'm still mad at you.
Tubbo's straight edge. Get out of here.
Fuck Tubbo.
So Ghostbird tells Tommy that no matter what happens, he's gonna follow him. He's gonna go around with him. So while this is happening, Dream.
What the fuck was that?
I'm
What was
choosing
what?
for it.
Crunchy noises.
God only knows. All right, so Dream talks with George, and he tells George to step down from being king, because many because many of the people on the server have targeted him for simply associating with Dream. And Sapnap is angered by this because he points out, well, why do you care? Because literally yesterday you screamed to everybody that you don't care about literally anything but the discs. So Dream still pushes through with the idea, and he dethrones George. And guess who's back on the throne, everybody? It's our good old pal, Eret! Eret's on the throne again. So George has been dethroned, and now Eret is on the throne. Now this leads to a little thing that we call the dethronement. The dethronement fallout. So, where is he? There he is. So Quackity, Sapnap, and George are all kind of pissed about this. And they return to Mexican Lemanberg to strengthen their forces. Are you just giggling at the name Mexican Lemanberg?
No!
Why is it not Elmanberg, might I ask?
I don't understand why. I don't understand why that was the name they chose, but it's kind of weirdly juxtaposed. It tickles me, Becky. I'm sorry.
I'm very happy that you find this funny.
I don't know. It just tickles me.
It is pretty good. All right. So, Eret appoints some knights. So he appoints Puffy as one of their knights. So Puffy is now a knight, and Dream advises her to keep the peace. So Mexican Lemanberg goes to they go to the Badlands as they hope for some support in this fight against Dream because they don't want Eret to be king again. And now Bad says, all right, I'll give you support, but you need to grant us the land that we want when George becomes king again. There's some land that we want that is on the Dream SMP territory, and you haven't given it to us, and if we help you, you have to give it back to us. And Mexican Lemanberg goes, well, you want a lot of land, so that's a bit unreasonable. And, Dream doesn't have many allies. So if we work together, we can stop him. And in a twist of irony during this conversation, I love this timing, Dream and Puns come in and kill Quackity, which forces the rebels to regroup. This is not a canon death. Not a canon death.
It sounds like it should be a canon death.
Yeah, there's a lot of situations where it's like, this probably should be a canon death, but it isn't. So they kill Quackity, and the rebels are forced to regroup. And Dream tells him, it's my right to crown and dethrone the king because I'm the one with power. And the king has to be the most neutral. The king must be the most neutral person on the server. And George sided with Mexican Lemanberg, so therefore he's no longer neutral. Now this quickly evolves into a screaming contest between Quackity and Dream, who they start blaming each other for conflicts on the server, such as Tommy's discs. And Dream tells Quackity, why do you even care about who's the king? You shouldn't care about who the king of the Dream SMP is, because you're not even a part of the Dream SMP, you're a part of Lemanberg. So they all decide to wait until the results of Tommy's exile. They wait to see whether or not Tommy will be exiled to figure out where they're going to move next. So that's how that conflict is put on pause for the time being. Now, okay. Here we go.
Hey, I got some now. Jackson, you want to head over to your place? We could do you know what I'm saying?
Moving again?
Yeah, we're gonna move over to Jackson's, right, Jackson?
Have
I
fun.
guess, yeah. You guys want to go to church?
Wait, what?
Yeah, let's go.
What?
Are we going to church? Is someone gonna get
just gonna
Ezri?
leave me behind?
Why is there a big blue? I'm just gonna ignore that.
Hang on.
All right, let us in.
We need to get Ezri.
Oh, ass. Hang on. There's a creeper in here.
Come on. All right. Come on, let's go.
All right, we got Ezri, we got Tyler. Let's go.
Cool. Okay.
All right, someone has to break. We got to break in.
Where's
Got to enter through the ceiling.
You guys want to see
It's
some
important that
tight
we enter
shit?
through the ceiling.
Some tight
Tyler's
shit.
gonna take fall damage.
Come on. Go. Let's
I'm
go.
gonna take fall damage.
Oh my God! There's a creeper
Don't
in
hit
here.
me!
I'm
Get in
gonna-
the hole. Get in. Get in the hole.
Why did you do
With
that? Why would you do that?
Oh wait, he can destroy
You
things.
just fucking killed me!
No!
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Fall damage, guys.
Why would
Anyway,
you
I'm gonna
fucking
walk
do
around.
that?
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Anyway, me and Tyler are gonna walk around like normal people.
Oh my
I'm literally fucking
we can
dead.
rebuild him. We can build a better Ezri.
I can't
Can I be a
believe
donkey
Ezri
this
is
time?
fucking dead.
Can I be a
Put him
donkey?
back. Put him back together. Let's go.
Oh
One-
my
one-
god.
two.
Okay, while you guys are doing that, I'm gonna reset up.
Can I
Where
be
the-
a donkey this time?
There you go. There's a name tag for the new Ezri. Okay. So, we're going to talk about the cabinet. Now, the cabinet's having a meeting about Tommy's exile. And you know, they're all a little bit worried about it. But the cabinet decides to stand behind Tommy because they don't want to be pushed around by Dream anymore. And by allowing Dream to do this, they're giving him way too much power. So, they decide, yep, we're going to push back. We're going to get this might be a war, and that's okay. However, when they actually go to meet up with Dream, Tubbo goes back on his word. And he exiles Tommy. Because he states that the country cannot survive another war so soon, and that the cabinet has been undermining his authority. And so Tommy is led away to exile by Dream.
Oh no.
Now, here's where, now in this arc, Dream kind of solidifies his position as a total fucking sociopath. But we're going to get into that
Not already?
a bit later. No, if you thought he was a sociopath already, we're about to get into some insane shit. All right.
It's not like levels of sociopathy. This is just sociopathy.
Sociopathy.
All right. So, Quackity and Fundy are very angry with Tubbo because they disagree with his decision, as he's given Dream far too much power. But, however, they all go back to the Kamar van, and Fundy reveals the L'Manberg hit list, which is
Oh my God.
detailing their enemies and their power. So Wilbur, Schlatt, Dream, and Technoblade are all listed as potential enemies. And as Wilbur and Schlatt are already dead, the team decides to focus primarily on Dream and Techno. Alright. So, in Exile, Dream forces Tommy to throw all of his items into a pit. And he blows them up, which leaves Tommy with nothing but a simple dirt shack to share with Ghostbur. He destroys all of his items. And so he's sharing with Ghostbur. Where's my Ghostbur head? Where's my Ghostbur? There he is. Okay. So
Oh my God.
So he's with Ghostbur. And Dream gives Tommy some food and obsidian blocks, and Tommy burns them because he doesn't want pity items. Now, back over in L'Manberg, Quackity reveals the secret Butcher Army lair. Now, this is an underground lair that's covered in photos of bacon and slaughtered animals. Because it is the goal to destroy Technoblade. So, they all agree to focus on Techno before Dream, and they make plans to murder Techno. So, Dream returns to L'Manberg, and he takes down the obsidian walls, and he officially recognizes L'Manberg as a free and independent nation, and even suggests creating some form of trade between the Dream SMP and L'Manberg. So it seems pretty awesome over there. Like, alright, we got rid of Tommy, and now we're flying high. That's cool. So, while that's happening, Techno shows up to Tommy's exile and mocks him. And he harkens back to the original analogy of Tommy to Theseus, because Theseus was a hero who was eventually turned out by his own people. So, Tommy's been exiled by his own guys. So, he once again is fitting the Theseus thing.
Oh.
So, Tommy and Ghostbur begin building a campsite for Tommy to stay in, and they place down the prime log. Now, much like the prime path, this is a log that has a bell on it. No, this is just a log, and whenever you stand on it, you get primes.
Prime?
Like
Twitch
primes.
primes.
Twitch primes.
Ah.
You remember this is all on
Yeah.
Twitch.tv
Twitch.tv.
/ streamer name here.
Yep.
This whole thing is a plug.
So, So Tommy and Ghostfur, they officially named their campsite Logstedshire. So now there's Logstedshire, and that's where Tommy has been exiled. Carl becomes an official citizen of Mexican Lemberg. And Sam, let's see, where's Sam? Where's my Sam head? There he is. All right, so Sam is contacted by Dream, and Dream has an interesting proposal. Dream says, I want you to help me build an inescapable prison. Actually, in Minecraft. Like, not even a, oh, you're being held in this prison because it's lore and you can't escape. Like, actually, once you're in there, you cannot get out unless someone lets you out. In-game. For real. So Sam accepts, and they begin clearing out the land to build this thing. So, over in Exile, Tommy gets visited by Bad. So Bad joins Tommy in Exile. And, yeah. And he has left him several gifts inside a giant yellow and red box. And, Dream joins them in Exile. And similarly to the day before, he forces Tommy to remove all of the armor that he's managed to collect, along with all of Bad's gifts, and puts them in a hole and blows them up.
Oh.
So, Tommy then builds a white tent close to Logstedshire to sleep in. And Tommy also finds a ruined nether portal by Logstedshire, and he asks Dream if he can use it. And Dream allows him to travel into the nether, but he says you cannot travel back into the SMP. Okay?
Oh.
Like, you're not allowed. You're banned from there. So you can go into the nether, but you can't go to the main SMP. So Tommy, Sapnap, Ghostfur, and Dream, they all go into the nether, and the rest of them head into the SMP. So Tommy is not allowed to go through. And he stands there, and he looks into the lava, and he considers jumping off into the lava and straight up killing himself. However, Dream comes back.
No.
Dream comes back before he can, and pushes him away from the lava, and he says, "It's not your time yet, Tommy." So Tommy goes back to Exile. All right. So we're gonna get into some. Here we go. Bad discovers some strange red blocks that have appeared around the server. Some strange red infected blocks around the server.
Uh-oh.
All right, we're gonna come back to that. That's a big thing. Remember those.
That's a special tool that will help us out later.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So Vicstar and Laser, they go to Logstedshire while Tommy is not there, and they decide to prank his tent. They put a single block of TNT under the tent along with a pressure plate. And Eret, where's Eret? Here's Eret. There they are. Eret goes to Exile while Tommy is gone as well, and she leaves an ender chest underneath the prime log for him. So, after Tommy logs on, he finds the chest. And and accidentally sets off the TNT trap. So he accidentally destroys his tent and then rebuilds it. And he destroys the ender chest when he finds it because he still thinks that everybody is pitying him. So, however, Tommy meets up with Ronbu and Fundy, and they go into the nether, and Tommy finally gains enough materials to build his own ender chest. So now Tommy does have an ender chest. Now, Ghostfur gives Tommy a present. He gives him a compass that is labeled Your Tubbo. Now, using lodestones, this compass is always set to point to Tubbo, or at the very least, Tubbo's White House. So, that's Ghostfur's gift to Tommy, is a compass that always points to Tubbo. Now, Quackity has decided that he's going to stage a political assassination and frame Eret for it.
For the course at this point.
Yep. So this is his plan to put George back on the throne. So he, there's George, Carl, and Sapnap, they're all going to team up for this one. So Carl, Quackity, and Sapnap are all joining up together to stage this political assassination. So Eret, at this point,
as one does.
As one does, yes. So Eret, at this point, not only has Puffy as a... Where's Puffy? There she is. Not only has Puffy as a knight, but he has also appointed H-Bomb. Your mic cut out, so all I just heard was yeah!
Believe me, it was because I clipped the mic.
Oh, okay. So Eret has now appointed H-Bomb and Puffy. And oh no. So
she dropped the H-bomb head. I was gonna go grab it.
So Quackity has directs Sapnap and Carl to protest Eret's leadership outside the castle. And as they confront the protesters, George hits a secret button, setting off the TNT and intentionally killing Carl. Now, Carl offered to sacrifice one of his canon lives for the nation. So, George arrives at the scene, and Sapnap blames Eret for Carl's death, and George distracts Eret by leading her away to talk about the situation privately. And while Eret is distracted, Quackity, Sapnap, and Carl steal Eret's throne. They go in and they steal Eret's throne. Now, Quackity, George, Sapnap, and Carl, they head back to Mexican L'Manberg, only to discover that Dream has found out about the situation, and he has destroyed the staircase leading up to the country, as well as the waterfall, therefore cutting them off. They no longer have access to the country. So Puns has also been knighted at this point. Puns gets knighted. And Eret, Puffy, H-Bomb, and Puns, they all team up and set off TNT in Mexican L'Manberg, destroying much of the area. Now, the Mexican L'Manbergians are forced to retreat to the Holy Land, and Eret, Puffy, H-Bomb, and Puns soon find them there. And Quackity attempts to once again frame Eret for Carl's death. Now, Dream does not believe them. And he states that due to their actions, Mexican L'Manberg will never be its own nation. So Quackity gets into a private call with Dream, who tells them that he will not recognize Mexican L'Manberg because Quackity is not a responsible leader, unlike Tubbo. Now, it's heavily implied within this conversation that Dream only considers those who are willing to go along with anything he says as a responsible leader. It's like really creepy when you actually think about it, that he's basically saying you're a responsible leader if you bend to my will, and you're not if you don't. So, Quackity gives up, and he decides, alright, I'll formally recognize Eret as king. And Eret says, that's all I really wanted. So Eret decides to officially recognize Mexican L'Manberg as its own country.
Yeah! L'Manberg. Is it named L'Manberg yet?
Actually, now they decide to change the name of Mexican L'Manberg as it's their own country. They want a fresh new start. And they change the country's name to El Rapids.
Enough.
El Rapids.
Separate it from the Manberg.
It's named partially after the I'm Just Chillin' in Cedar Rapids vine. So that's where it comes from. It's El Rapids. Alright. So Puns also ends his position on night. So
I forgot about that.
It's a good vibe.
I appreciate that much of this.
I'm just chilling in Cedar Rapids.
Yeah.
But like all of the city names are fucking atrocious.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
And all like obviously.
Oh, I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it because it's not important to the story whatsoever. But Connor builds his own land. Guess what the name of Connor's land is?
Connorland.
It's called Little Penis Land. Anyway.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what it is called. Alright, so Quackity, Carl, and George begin taking down the remains of Mexican L'Manberg, and they claim a space behind L'Manberg, which was Party Island and Party Park, and they claim that as the brand new El Rapids territory. So, we're gonna go back to Bad, because some interesting shit is about to go down. So, Bad, he's digging out this cavern. And as he's digging out this cavern, he finds this mysterious, large, red egg.
Oh, here we go.
So he finds this weird egg.
It's a mystery Mascatool.
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay. So he finds this huge red egg with these strange red vines that extend from it. And Bad, he's like, this thing is kind of cool. So Are you still laughing over Mystery Muscatool?
I'm sorry, Becky. I'm so funny.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. You're good, man. It was pretty good. All right.
Get out of my
So
way.
Please continue.
So Bad finds this red egg, and he's like, "Well, this thing is kind of cool." So he begins to start talking to it, and he offers it
No,
items.
what the heck? Why is it the first thing you do?
Yeah, we're about to have some fun. It's a mystery tool that can help us later. So he shows his find to Dream, Eret, Sapnap, Ranboo, Sam, and Ant, all at different times. And Dream and Sam kind of stick around a little bit, and they're like, "What the hell is this thing?" And Bad's like, "I didn't build it, I just found it." So Sam and Dream, they start looking around the server, and they find these weird red vines that are extending around the server. So Sam and Dream are like, "What the hell is this? What was that?"
Professor Becky, I'm raising my hand.
Yes.
Are these nether related?
Yes. In non-canon terms, they are a bunch of, they're like the Crimson. Let me see if I can find them.
So they're not lore-wise. They're not.
Lore-wise,
they're not.
Lore-wise, they are mysterious vines that are coming from this egg that they don't know.
Lore-wise, they're Twizzlers.
Sure. Lore-wise, they're these weird crimson vines that are like mysteriously like appearing from this egg, and they don't know what it is. Non-canon wise, it's like crimson vines from the nether.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, so Dream and Sam start attempting to clear away the vines because they're like, "What the hell? This is gross." However, Bad gets ridiculously angry over them starting to clear these vines, and he forces them to stop.
What are you?
So
What?
It's the one person.
Someone stop this man! He's gone too far.
I didn't know you could stack wool, bro.
Fun fact:
it's the one person in the horror movie that won't let them like basically do the action that would make so the whole horror plot didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, no,
right.
Don't destroy the vines.
Yep.
Oh shit! He used a
All right.
I'm sorry.
I know you are.
So Bad Dream and Sam, they leave the vines alone for a while, and they go and they start working on the prison again.
How did I get an axe? What the?
And they decide to name the prison Pandora's Vault, and they name the vines. They name the vines the Blood Vines, which is always fun.
Twizzlers.
They're not called They're not Twizzlers.
I'm calling them Twizzlers.
They're not Twizzlers.
They do look quite tasty in game. They look like a snack.
They are a snack because they're Twizzlers.
I hate that you're doing this just because.
Please tell me they try to eat the Twizzlers.
No. Anyway, so the vines begin to multiply on their own, and they begin to spread around the server, and it's a bit creepy. So while they're working on the prison, Dream also mentions to Bad and Sam that the valuable item that Schlatt gave him. Remember how I mentioned that because Dream fought on the Manberg side because Schlatt gave him a very valuable item? And that's
yeah.
All right, he reveals that... Shut up. He reveals that the item that he was given is a mysterious book that is containing powerful secrets, but he refuses to say anything more on the matter. Now, Ant Frost is recruited as a guard for the future prison, and Sam is officially made the warden. So now, Bad takes puns. That's not puns. Bad takes puns down to the egg. And he asks him how he feels about it. And he says, "Can you hear it speak?" And Puns is like, "What the fuck?" and leaves. Because
we're in a very weird alien lore arc right now.
Yeah. So Puns and Sam agree that this is weird and we don't like this. However, they decide not to do anything about it until
please get rid of it. Fucking get rid of it.
Well, they decide not to do anything about it until they have more allies because Ant.
Oh my god! No, this is the thing you don't do in the horror movie.
Well,
this is pissing me off.
Because Ant and Bad have teamed up together, and they seem to be willing to kill anyone who attempts to destroy the egg, and that's disturbing.
Yeah,
So-
that in itself means it should be destroyed.
So
I'm just
No, but
saying.
what if it's cool and stuff, dude?
Dude,
You know?
no. Okay, I know the people
right.
in this group that I would not like.
you know what? This is
yeah,
actually really
if the
funny.
end of the world's coming, I run from y'all.
You know what? This is actually really funny because we're gonna get into more of the lore of the egg, and
Crack
now I know
crack
exactly.
pop that shit like a gusher.
Now I know
Yeah.
exactly who would be on what side. So. All right. So Bad and Ant, they harvest pieces of the egg, which is creepy, and they begin to place them around the server, intending to.
Okay,
allow
how do
the
you
vines to
harvest like
continue to
just a
grow.
piece of the egg? Are they like carving off like snippets?
No, like
or
pieces
are they
of
like
vines. Pieces of
cracking
the
it?
vines. Pieces of the vines.
Oh, the vines.
Yeah, the
the
vines
Twizzlers.
the vines are considered to be part of the egg, but they just break some of them off and they begin placing them around the server, intended for more growth. Now, he's been gone a while. You knew him. You loved him. Punk's back.
Whomst is back? Oh,
Lemon Tree Man.
oh, he's gonna build a lemon tree.
Man. He's actually not gonna build a
Oh my
lemon tree
God.
this time. He
No.
What's the point?
What is even the point of him being? Get rid of him.
no.
Don't even care.
So Ponk visits the cavern to look at the egg, and he finds that the egg is beginning to grow in size. And it's making odd noises.
Oh my
Which is-
god!
which
Just
is
fucking crack it open. This hurts. This hurts.
I'm
Don't
loving
fucking kill it.
God.
I love your reaction to this. Anyway,
Just
while
fucking
this is
kill
happening,
it.
Ghostbird visits Tubbo, and you remember how Ghostbird gave Tommy the Your Tubbo compass? He gives Tubbo a Your Tommy compass, which is always pointing to Tommy. So that's cute. Alright, so
Aw.
we're gonna get back. Puffy discovers the egg, and she appears to be just as drawn to it as Bad and Ant are. And she travels to Sam's house, and she... I just really love you. You are me. Oh no!
Whoa.
Okay, I woke up. I woke up at home. It's fine.
I
Okay.
accidentally left clicked. What the fuck?
What?
You just killed a man in my classroom.
What is happening?
Is that
Two more canon lives
Is
left.
that a demerit?
I
feel like that
literally
should be a
all I
demerit.
did was
I
click
think that's
left
a
and left
demerit.
click.
Wait,
and
do we
died.
have three? Do we each have 3 canon lives? In which case, I only have 2.
Sure. Sure. All right. By the way, that is a meme on the Dream SMP server as well, and all the people who do it, whenever someone like dies in a video game, they all just go, up, 2 canon lives left. But all right. So, Dream returns to exile, and he once again destroys all of Tommy's items. This is a thing.
Oh.
Every time Dream returns to exile, he destroys all of Tommy's items. So, he builds a new nether portal for Tommy as well, closer to Logsteadshire, and the two of them work together to build an obsidian bridge through the nether that leads back to the nether hub, and this will allow Tommy to receive visitors more easily, because Tommy can't go into the SMP, but there are no rules against people coming to visit him. So,
Teacher, can I have a crafting bench?
why do you need a crafting table?
Because I got a bunch of wheat from home, so I don't starve.
Alright, just don't
Thank you.
stand on it.
Oh, wheat. I said wheat.
Don't stand on it.
I'm in adventure mode, so I need you to place that
Oh,
down.
okay. Just do not stand on this thing no matter what you do. Just don't do it.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it. Okay,
very
watch
good.
me.
Don't Alright.
Teacher, I'm the
You
good
can
noodle
enjoy
here.
those comments. You can enjoy those comments. There's an inside joke with the Dream SMP about standing on a crafting table, and I haven't told you what it is because it's not appropriate for classroom discussion. So
Oh god.
you can have fun with those comments, Jackson.
Wait. Okay.
We're all adults.
You can have fun.
Dragon heads, and you know what? I gotta focus. I have problems with focusing. I need focus. Okay.
All right.
This is distracting to
We're
me.
gonna talk more
They're in a
about the
cult
egg.
or something.
We're gonna talk more about the egg. So Sam
The egg.
checks on the egg, and he also finds that it has grown larger, and this is concerning him. So he goes and he clears the vines out of his house, and he burns the leftover vines as a precaution to make sure they're completely destroyed. Now, Sam, Puns, Ant, and Bad, they all return to the egg. And Ant and Bad attempt to convince Sam and Puns to touch it, but they both refuse. And Puns and Sam attempt to set the egg on fire. Which Ezri, there you go. They are trying.
I enjoyed this. I enjoy this line of action.
They're trying to destroy it. There you go.
Makes
I
me feel
think
much
fire
more
is
at
its
peace.
strength. It's gonna power up the egg and unleash
Yeah,
the Under Dragon or something.
Yeah, that would be interesting. So there's actually an inside joke because Ant has a boyfriend in real life. Ant has like an actual boyfriend, and his boyfriend is named Velvet, and their color coding is red. So there's like a joke theory that the egg is secretly his boyfriend, and when it hatches, his boyfriend is gonna like join the server and be like a horrifying eldritch monster. It's like a whole thing. But that's not canon, so I can talk about that. Anyway, so Puns and Sam attempt to set the egg on fire. However, Ant and Bad stop them. But Sam is able to convince Bad to allow him to break the vines that are spreading through the SMP. And Bad says, "You can do that, yes. So long as you don't hurt the actual egg." And Sam's like, "I can work with that for now. I just want the vines out of here. For now, that's fine." But Bad says, "But don't worry. Soon enough, the egg's gonna take over everything." So Sam's like, "Okay," and leaves. So Ponk, now down here, Ponk visits the egg, and he discovers that it has grown yet again. And inside the cavern, there was a red face that was built on the wall. The egg has reached there. No. That was there before. The face was there before.
Okay.
The face was there before. But the egg has reached this face.
Oh.
And as it has drained it completely of the red color. And it is completely white.
Oh no.
Alright. So, over in Exile, we're going to talk about Exile for a little bit, because there's some fun stuff happening in Exile. Tommy begins to hallucinate.
Oh, great.
And he starts believing that he's seeing Tubbo all over the place, but Tubbo is not there at all. So, he's beginning to hallucinate. It's hard to, like, explain the situation just in, like, lecture form. Tommy's mental state goes into the toilet over the period of Exile. Like, it's really, really
bad. The Nether, right?
No. He's far away.
No?
He's allowed to go into the Nether. If he wants. But he's been exiled really far away, and it's his mental state is really, really bad. Like, really, really bad. I cannot stress enough how bad his mental state gets within this. So Dream shows up, and he says, "Alright, Tommy, hand over your stuff." And Tommy doesn't even try to fight it. It's like a very disturbing level of resistance. So he hands over all his stuff, and Dream destroys it. And Tommy decides, "Hey, I've got an idea. I want a bunch of people to come visit me." And Dream's like, "Yeah, you can do that. There's no law against people visiting you." So Tommy says, "Okay, I'm gonna host a beach party." So he gets Dream's consent, and he's allowed to host a beach party for all of his friends in Lemanberg to come visit him. And Ghostbur, where's Ghostbur's head? Where did I put Ghostbur's head? Ah, shit. Did I destroy Ghostbur's head? No, here it is. Okay. So, Ghostbur and Phil visit Tommy in Exile, and they help him work on a beach area for a party. And Tommy hands Ghostbur the invitations for a bunch of different people. And he says, "Can you deliver those to everyone on the server?" And he's like, "Alright, yeah, sure, I'll do that." So Tommy, then desperately lonely, builds himself a girlfriend out of wooden logs.
Yeah!
He builds himself a girlfriend out of a pumpkin and logs.
Yo.
Is
alright.
she named?
Okay. Did you just say Pokemon?
Is she named?
Oh no, she does not have a name. She does not have a name.
Okay, one more question.
Yes?
Does this log and pumpkin woman conceive a child?
No.
Because I feel like...
No.
Okay.
No.
I feel like that's kind of...
In line for the lore, yes, but no.
Okay.
So while this is happening,
I'm like, is this a soon-to-be mother?
no. Thank God, because Tommy should not be a father under any circumstances. All right. So Jack Manifold, he discovers the egg, and he discovers that you can avoid corruption by cleansing yourself in the holy water at Church Prime.
You know what? You can
He does
also
that.
avoid corruption by fucking blowing it up. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, no,
Well,
Like,
Ezri, when
coming
you're
up-
doing surgery on someone that has necrosis, you don't just blow them up.
Listen, I think at some point you should just give up.
All right. And also, they go around. So Sam goes around, and he discovers that blood vines have completely reappeared in several places that he destroyed them. So, that's not good. Sam, Bad, and Ant, they all discover that the vines at Schlatt's funeral site have died. They've all died of their own accord.
Have died.
And they
But we don't
theorize-
care because we don't like Schlatt.
Yeah, fuck.
Well, we don't like Schlatt, no, but if his funeral site can kill the
But he
vines,
has
that's a
horns.
good thing. Anyway, they theorize that because Schlatt's funeral site was lit with soul fire, not regular fire, the blue fire. So his funeral site was lit with the blue fire. So they theorize that the soul fire can completely kill the vines. And
And maybe the egg.
Anton,
And maybe the egg.
they never try that, which is
Why
infuriating.
Why are they not destroying the source of the problem? The source of every single issue.
Welcome to the
Like,
frustration.
Egg
of
rare,
watching
so
the
it's
egg.
cool.
All right.
It's
So
like
But it's
the
like-
it's
it's
like the
the
ring of
source of all
Sauron.
of
It's
these-
pretty cool.
Growing lore problems.
all right.
And you're in Minecraft.
All right. So Ant and Bad, they remove the dead vines and they put out the soul fire. And Sam and Puns are like, "Hey man, I think this is really bad. The vines are reappearing. Maybe we should do something about this." And Bad and Ant go, "No. It's under control. We got it. It's fine."
Things were not fine.
Yeah, exactly. Narrative voice. Things were not fine. All right. Now, over in Technoblade Land, I'm just gonna put them over here for now. So Techno and Phil, they team up and they're just building a little turtle farm because they want to get some turtle master potions. And during this trip,
You guys are just playing Minecraft.
yeah, they're just playing Minecraft. But
Yeah.
during this trip, Techno reveals to Phil that he struggles to stay peaceful because he has voices in his head that constantly demand blood. Now,
Oh, what?
Now,
Are there voices
fuck?
in here right now?
these voices are the first instance of the stream chat being canon characters. The
Oh my
voices
God.
in
Oh, no.
Technoblade's head are
Oh,
his chat.
that's cool. I like
I
that. That's
love
funny.
that. I love that so much. I can't even begin to explain. Now,
I like that a lot.
Now, this is the first instance of that happening, but a bunch of people like start naming their chats as a joke, but 2 other people do it canonically. Phil does it canonically. He names his chat as a bunch of crows because of his wings. He's considered like he has wings that are broken because of the whole elytra thing. So he says that his chat are a bunch of crows that speak to him and like fly in and speak to him, which is a hilarious mental image if you think about it for more than 10 seconds, because he regularly gets over like 100,000, he gets like 100,000 viewers. So I just picture him logging on and a tidal wave of crows just comes flying in
Just
after him.
follow him.
It's pretty funny. The other person that does this, and I don't remember exactly when he established this, and the wiki didn't make it clear exactly when he established this, but Ronbu establishes that his chat, as he is part Enderman, so we have he's part Enderman.
He is?
We're gonna get to that a little bit later. He's part Enderman.
How does that work?
You can
It's a long
and
story.
look, he's half Enderman and half Slenderman.
Well, we actually don't know what his
Whoa.
other half is
But
yet. We know that he's part Enderman. So his chat are a bunch of particles. You know how when Endermen teleport, they leave behind those purple little particles?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what his chat is. It's a bunch of particles that follow him around.
Okay,
I
so one person,
canonically
it's
have
the
a line.
voices in their head.
Yes.
One person, it's a bunch of crows.
Yes.
And the other person, it's literally just particle effect.
Yes. that speak to him.
All right, let me do this.
Are you writing this down?
Hello, Ranboy. My name is Robablo. I come from human world.
You want to know the funniest thing? I have a canon line in the Dream SMP as a particle. I have a canon line in the Dream SMP as a particle because
we're hanging out with a niche micro celebrity.
Yes,
right now?
I have a canon line in the Dream SMP as a particle because I sent in a dono.
A niche micro celebrity.
I sent in a donation message during a small lore stream, and he talked to it in character. So I do have a line as a particle.
What did you say?
We're gonna get to that. I'll get to that later when it becomes relevant.
Right.
But I just felt like mentioning that because I really like that I canonically have a particle. I have a line as a particle. Okay. So the date of Tommy's beach party comes around. So Tommy plans to host his beach party so that all of his Oh, whoops. I'm in the wrong place. Okay. So while so Tubbo is currently working on a project. To drain an ocean monument, because you know how hardcore players, whenever they run out of things to do, they just decide to drain an ocean monument? That's what Tubbo's doing. So he can build an XP farm. While he's working on this project, he dies, and his Your Tommy compass is blown up by a creeper.
No!
Yeah.
No.
That'll come to play later. So Tommy prepares for his beach party, but he discovers that no one but Dream has shown up. And Dream allows Tommy to keep his armor for the day. He doesn't destroy it this time, and this delights Tommy. So Dream confirms that Ghostburst sent out the invitation to the party, and Tommy becomes distraught as he believes that none of his friends care for him anymore, as they got the invitations but they did not show to the party. So Tommy destroys a portion of the Nether Bridge, therefore making it more difficult for his friends to traverse the path to visit him, as he's angry. And Dream tells Tommy that Tubbo purposefully destroyed his compass and threw it into lava to destroy it.
Oh no.
Dream was the one that did that?
No. Tubbo's compass was blown up accidentally by a creeper. Dream is telling Tommy that Tubbo did it on purpose.
So either
Welcome
way,
to Gaslight
Dream.
Gatekeep Girl Boss. All right. We are Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Bossing in this house tonight. So Tommy nearly destroys his own compass, but Dream does stop him from doing that. And they go back to Logstedshire after destroying the path, and Dream gives Tommy a Riptide Trident as a show of friendship and as a reward for his compliance. So we're getting really into like straight up manipulation in this house tonight. All right, back to the egg. We're going back to the egg. So Sam and Bad.
There's no break from it.
Yeah, Sam and Bad find that the vines have grown into. Do you remember? Did I mention Letarge?
Who?
No.
Someone built a huge target and made it rainbow, and they called it Letarge. Anyway, that was Puffy. Puffy built this huge building and called it Letarge. So they find that the vines have gotten into Letarge, and they've completely they're destroying the red color on the inside. And the two check on the egg, and then Sapnap. Right when you thought his destruction was horrible, it comes in handy. Sapnap breaks in to the cavern and drops a single piece of TNT and destroys part of the egg.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, it's the first time someone's tried to destroy it.
But do we want to destroy it, though? We haven't figured that one out yet.
Yes. Yes, we do. Unless you're on the side of the Eggfire, yes,
you
we
already
do.
know where we as a group already know where I stand. I don't think I need to
if
repeat my opinion.
If you would like to join the Eggfire, you may. However, I want that thing dead. So.
Okay, all right, fine, we'll destroy it, whatever. Boom, boom.
So Bad is horrified by this destruction.
You don't sound very convinced.
And he begins feeding the egg cooked chicken.
Why? Why are we fucking feeding it?
And then
why are we feeding it?
Bad threatens to feed Sam and Sapnap to the egg. And they're both horrified by this. So they both run away and go to the church to cleanse themselves because they're terrified of what has just occurred. So
that's one way to get them to do that.
Yeah, so Bad shows Puffy the damage that has been done to the egg, and the two decide to surrender in order to protect it.
Okay. All right.
But we just need like diamond pickaxe or better, and we can get this done, right?
So Puffy and Bad then decide to build a statue of Skeppy. You remember Skeppy, he's the little guy over here. They build a statue of Skeppy in the cavern with the egg, and then they travel to Logstadshire, and they build a statue of Tubbo, holding a compass for Tommy. However, Tommy logs on, and he looks visibly worse. Like, actually, he changes his skin as Exile progresses to get, like, worse and worse. Like, the blue leaves his eyes, his clothes get all torn up. It's, like, really disturbing, actually. So he looks visibly worse, and he tears down this Tubbo statue as he's angered by his apparent abandonment. So he then finds a letter left for him by Ranbu. Now, he's been getting several letters from Ranbu. Ranbu's been consistently communicating with him through letters, and he finds a new letter left for him by Ranbu, and Ranbu believes that someone is trying to steal the mail that he's been leaving Tommy, and he states that Dream is scary. So Tommy attempts to build a screaming station, but he claims that it's not doing it for him, and he travels to the Nether to try and find a better place. Now, Jack... Where's Jack? Where's my Jack head? Here's Jack. Now, Jack appears from seemingly out of nowhere. I need a water break, hang on.
While you're no, never mind.
What's up?
Let's just reach an end point so we can stop recording.
Okay, really quickly. Alright, yep. So Jack accidentally scares Tommy, and Tommy mines out the floor underneath him in shock and kills him by accident. And Tommy seems to instantly regret his actions, and he asks himself why he did it. And Jack offers to come back a second time. But then Tommy refuses, and he gets angry at Jack for not visiting him sooner. So, Tommy watches the lava, and he theorizes that no one is genuine in their visits, and that they only visit him out of pity or to ridicule him. So while Tommy is doing that on the Nether Bridge, Jack sneaks past him and steals his girlfriend!
Oh.
And, so he steals the girlfriend. Now, Ranbu meets up with Tommy, and he attempts to talk him through his depression, because Tommy is very clearly depressed at this point, and it's getting worse. Now, during this, Jack calls Tommy, and he says, "I stole your girlfriend for revenge. How do you feel about that?" And Tommy says, "I don't care." And he says, I can pretend to care if it would make you happy."
Oh.
And it's really... really depressing. So Tommy then builds a secret room underneath Logstadshire as a place to hide his items so that Dream does not know they are there and Dream cannot destroy them. So he makes Ranbu promise not to tell Dream about it. Now Tommy mentions how he thinks that Tubbo destroyed his compass. And Ranbu says Tubbo didn't destroy that on purpose, he lost it on accident. But Tommy is getting confused, and he says, well, Dream told me what really happened. And that's that. So that's his mental state revolving Dream right now. We're going back to the egg! And Bad notices that the egg has stopped growing ever since covering it in obsidian. And as he, Puffy, and Ant begin clearing away the blood vines, they're not upset about the action anymore. Like, they don't feel bad about breaking the vines. So Skeppy is thrilled about this, and he claims they've been cured, as he's noticed that they're all acting strangely, so they believe that it's the egg's influence that has been causing them to do this. And now that it's blocked by obsidian, that influence is also blocked. So Bad says, I think it's best to keep this thing covered in obsidian. But Skeppy becomes curious.
No!
And he breaks off.
We messed with that cool egg thing that's making Twizzlers show up out of nowhere. Haha, JK, unless.
Yeah. So he breaks a single piece of obsidian because he wants to see the egg and what it's all done. Breaking the obsidian immediately places Puffy, Bad, and Ant back under the influence, and they immediately begin to remove all the obsidian from the egg once again. Now Skeppy is horrified by this. And so he tells them, why don't you all head out? I want to spend some time with the egg, and I want to learn to like it. And they're like, well, that's great. That sounds like a great idea. So they all leave. And after they've left, Skeppy replaces all the obsidian and traps himself inside the egg.
Oh.
So he traps himself inside the layer of obsidian with the egg, freeing Bad, Puffy, and Ant. Now, Bad, Puffy, and Ant are horrified by this, and Bad vows to find a way to free him. Because he feels horrified that this is all his fault, that Skeppy sacrificed himself.
Why did he do that? Why did Skeppy do that?
I honestly don't know. He just kind of blocked himself in.
Like, the temptation was that bad?
I don't know, man. I guess, yes. All
just
right.
to, like, spit?
Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna go into another small conflict here. So, Puns, he meets with Tubbo, and he gives Tubbo a fox, and Tubbo names the fox Squeaks. Now the Squeaks conflict begins, because Sapnap shows up, and we all know how Sapnap and pets are. We all know Sapnap's history with pets. So Sapnap requests, can I pet Squeaks? And Tubbo goes, no, you cannot pet Squeaks, because you petting Squeaks will likely lead to Squeaks' death. So they run from Sapnap, and Nikki joins in to help. So they run from Sapnap, and Sapnap fires arrows at them as they try to escape. And Puns joins in the effort to help, as well as two familiar faces. Where's Fundy? Here's Fundy. So Fundy joins in the effort to help protect Squeaks, and so does Dream. So they all arrive at the Holy Land, and Sapnap threatens to kill Squeaks if Tubbo doesn't hand him over. So Dream and Puns attack Sapnap as a distraction, and Tubbo hides Squeaks underground. And in order for Sapnap to leave Squeaks alone, Dream pays him with a trident. So that is the Squeaks conflict. It's a very small thing, but I love Squeaks. So, Tommy, back in exile, he builds a new bridge in the hopes of giving more incentive to visitors. So Bad! We're going back to the egg. So Bad visits the egg, and he discovers that the obsidian layer around it is turning to crying obsidian. It appears to be leaking.
Crying obsidian.
Do you know about crying obsidian?
I'll make one.
Yeah,
hang on,
put a little bit down.
Pop. So it's turning to this. So it appears.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yes,
I've seen this. Yeah.
So the obsidian layer around the egg appears to be leaking, which is, oh dear. So Bad, who is desperate to get Skeppy back, he wants Skeppy back more than anything. He takes a risk, and he mines out 2 blocks of obsidian, allowing Skeppy just enough to escape before he replaces the blocks, quickly re-blocking the egg and protecting himself from the influence. Now, we can't see it here because I physically cannot get the skin to change because Skeppy is not currently wearing it. Skeppy is now totally red. Completely red.
Yo, Reppy!
What? Reppy?
Because he's red, Skeppy.
They just call him Red Skeppy. There was no
Reppy.
creativity done. But surely you call him
Am I
Reppy
the only
like...
one that can name things here?
So Skeppy is now completely red. And he appears to have no desire instead of going back to the egg. All he wants to do is go back to the egg.
Yeah, I have no... I don't know why the fuck he did that.
And Bad tries several things to snap Skeppy out of it. He gives him diamonds, and Skeppy burns the diamonds, and they try to burn him in Soulfire, and Puffy joins in on helping. She tries to burn him in Soulfire to try and turn him back. And Puffy suggests, maybe we should kill him. Maybe killing him will be like a reset button. Like, it'll turn him back. It'll turn him back to normal.
Wait, I have a quick question. Is there anything wrong with Skeppy aside from him being red?
He has no desire but to return to the egg. Like, none.
Oh, yeah, kill him.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah,
That's
kill him.
what I'm saying.
All right. However, Bad is very close with Skeppy, and he refuses to kill him because he just can't bring himself to kill Skeppy. So we're going back over here now. Dream visits Tommy in exile again, and Tommy readily gives up his armor for it to be destroyed. And now, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, we are finally meeting Mexican Dream.
I just want to say that was a heck of a slogan there. I guess.
Guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it better than ladies and gentlemen. It's a phrase that Thomas Sanders started saying, and I really like it.
I remember, quick aside, this anime, Skate the Affinity, in the dub, one of the characters says, ladies, bros, and non-binary hoes.
I like that too. That one's also good. Alright, so, Mexican Dream. We're getting into Mexican Dream. So, Mexican Dream is here. And that's the appropriate reaction to seeing Mexican Dream.
What, are you
Now, I should point out, Mexican Dream is played by Quackity, not Dream himself. So, Mexican Dream appears...
so it's like a joke?
Kind of, but also not. It's like... There's some situations in the Dream SMP where it's like half lore and half not. They call them semi-lore streams. Semi-lore streams are like streams where it's like, yes, this is canon, but it's like a goofy kind of canon. Where they're more like lighthearted and relaxed.
Like Manberg wasn't very goofy, dude. This is
a
prime
bit goofy.
goof time.
This is a bit goofy. It's semi-lore. And okay. So also semi-lore semi-lore also applies to like a stream where sometimes they're in character and sometimes they're not. Like a few of the things they say is like, this is in character, and very obviously so, but then other times they're just like chilling and talking to chat and like building something. So that's like a semi-lore stream. Anyway, right. Mexican Dream. So Mexican Dream appears, and Dream takes on the guise of Mamacita, who is Mexican Dream's lover. Oh. I honestly don't know how to explain Mexican Dream. No one really does. He's a lot. I like him, but he's so much. So Mexican Dream then loses his first canon life because he's protecting Mamacita from a mob attack. So he loses a canon life protecting Mamacita, and then Dream comes back as himself. He's no longer Mamacita. And he says, I don't like Mexican Dream. And he kills him twice, taking his final 2 canon lives. And Mexican Dream becomes the 3rd character on the server to be permanently dead.
Oh my god.
I hate so much that I have to include Mexican Dream in canon because he's canonically dead.
Is that it? Is that the only thing that does die?
Yep, that's Mexican Dream. So Tommy is horrified by the murder, and he sets up a grave for Mexican Dream and mourns him. So now Tommy is visited by Drista. Y'all remember Drista?
That was the 14-year-old chaos god.
Yes, she is the goddess of chaos, and now her god powers have taken full effect as she has been allowed creative mode. So she allows for Tommy to visit the SMP for a single hour. He gets a single hour out of exile to join Drista and like just go around the server doing weird things. Alright. So, Drista's godlike powers have taken full effect as she has been given creative mode. Techno arrives! Where's Techno? Let me get Techno. So Techno arrives, and he requests something from the goddess. He requests a piece of bedrock. Now, she gives it to him. She allows him a piece of bedrock. Tubbo tries to steal it. And Techno kills Tubbo and gets it back. And he places the bedrock in the ender chest. Now,
Is this a canon death?
No. Now, Drista attempts to give Techno a shulker box. Now, shulker boxes are very valuable in this game, as, again, no access to the end.
No access to the end.
No access to the end, so shulker boxes are extremely valuable. However, before Techno can get his shulker box, Puns jumps in and swipes it, and logs out before anyone can kill him. So now Puns has the shulker box. And
Quick reminder, who's Puns again?
Puns is this guy. He's he's like a mercenary. He's neutral in the server. He doesn't do too much in the server, but
Alright.
yeah.
But this is like he now has like the only shulker box.
He now has the
game.
only shulker box in the game. And Ponk attempts to buy it off of him, but Puns denies him. So yes. Alright. So that's Drista's visit. So Dream and Dream and Techno have a secret meeting. And Dream tells Techno, I have a spy in L'Manberg. So I know everything that's going on in there. And I've been informed that there are secret bounty hunters after your head. So he informs him of the Butcher Army. And then Dream visits Tommy in exile. And while Dream is digging out the hole to throw Tommy's items into, as he usually does, he discovers Tommy's secret item room.
Oh, no!
He blows up the entire room. He blows up all of Logstedshire. He blows up Tommy's tent. He destroys the Nether portal. And he tells Tommy that he's no longer allowed to go to the Nether. And he says, never disobey me again. And he leaves. Now, Tommy feels hopeless. Everything he's tried to build up has been destroyed. He keeps having to start over because Dream keeps destroying all his items. And he builds a huge dirt tower. And he contemplates jumping off and killing himself. Now, before he could do that,
how many cannons?
He's on one. He's on one. If he were to kill himself, that would be it. So, however, he's talking to himself. He's monologuing to himself and to his chat about like everything that's been going on, and he realizes Dream's been manipulating him. Dream has never been his friend. So he jumps off the tower, but he lands in water on purpose, and he decides to run away. So Tommy runs away, and he finds Techno's hidden cabin. So he finds Techno's house. Now, Techno is not here at the time being, but he finds Techno's house. And he digs out a room underneath Techno's house to live in, and he claims Techno's never gonna know. Techno's never gonna know!
Techno figures this out almost immediately, doesn't he?
No. Well, he does. Tommy gets a day. Tommy gets like a day. So he digs out a room underneath Techno's house to live in. Anyway, so now we're gonna get into some interesting stuff. So here we go. Where's the other one? Yes, it is also Fundy. All right. So Quackity, Tubbo, and Fundy don Butcher Army uniforms. And they also recruit Ronbu into the Butcher Army. And they yeah, it's Ronbu time. So Ronbu, Tubbo, Quackity, Fundy. They all join the Butcher Army, and they begin their quest to find and execute Technoblade. So the first person they go to is Phil. They know that Phil is friends with Techno, and they try to pry his location out of him. But Phil refuses. And he says, I'm not loyal to this country. I'm loyal to my son, and I'm loyal to Technoblade. So they deem Phil a traitor to the country, and as such, they ransack his home. And Tubbo finds the compass leading to Technoblade's cabin. And before they leave, Phil is placed under official house arrest for non-compliance and is given an ankle monitor. That's real. So, Phil sends a warning message to Techno that the army is on their way, and Techno begins preparing potions for war. Now, someone else finds their way to Techno's house. It's Ghostfur! Ghostfur finds his way to Technoblade's house, and Techno's like, dude, you gotta go. War is coming. But he doesn't leave because he seems to be completely unaware of the upcoming danger, even though Techno's like, dude, this isn't a good time. Ghostfur just keeps wandering around. And Ghostfur finds a little blue sheep. Now, I could show you the blue sheep if we were in the lecture hall, but we're not. So, Ghostfur finds a blue sheep, and Techno gives him a lead for it. So, Phil removes his house arrest ankle monitor, and he puts on a creeper head as a disguise, and he heads out towards Techno's cabin. So he's there, and he's watching the whole time. So the Butcher army nears Technoblade's cabin, and they run into Ghostbur. And Ghostbur reveals... Remember how Ghostbur was supposed to deliver the invitations? Now, Dream intercepted him as he was going to deliver the invitations. And he said, I'll deliver them. Why don't you go for a walk through the woods? So Dream stole all the invitations, never gave them out, and sent Ghostbur away so Ghostbur wouldn't find out what would happen. So, gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, we love to see it.
Don't.
So, and then Ghostbur accidentally gives away that Technoblade is home, because he does not realize that that's a bad idea. So, the Butcher army, now aware that Techno is in the cabin, they confront Technoblade. And Techno tries to explain that he wants to change. He wants to be peaceful, and he requests that they leave to prevent violence. Now, Ranbu is totally on board with a non-violent situation. Ranbu hates violence. He doesn't want this to happen. However, the others, they all pull their axes. And they say, we're not leaving without you. And Technoblade refuses to leave peacefully, and he begins fighting. Now, the battle is shifting in his favor until Quackity stops everything. He yells for him to stop, and Techno... Hang on, I gotta go get him. Techno, hang on. I need a set piece. Hang on.
Well, we can follow you and then see the blue sheep.
Oh, okay. Okay, are we coming back to the lecture hall then?
No, just for a bit to look at blue sheep boy.
No, Quackity!
There they are.
Has Carl! So while the fight was going on, Quackity... I'm bringing Carl back. I'm bringing Carl back. Here we go.
What are you doing, Carl?
Here comes Carl.
That's a horrible...
Here comes Carl. Hello.
Horrible
Alright.
Steve Merchant impression.
So, Quackity stands by Carl, and he holds his axe, and he says, if you don't come with us, I am going to kill Carl. And,
Lots of threat of killing animals.
Yeah, that's basically what the server's all about.
They're the only things that don't have 3 canon lives.
Yep. And so Technoblade is backed into a corner, and he agrees. He's like, okay, I'll drop everything. I'll go with you. And Ghostbur trades a lead for Carl in exchange for a name tag, and he names his newly adopted sheep Friend. So Phil runs back home as he's witnessed the entire confrontation, and he doesn't want to be caught breaking house arrest. And the Butcher army brings Technoblade all the way back to L'Manberg, and they reveal that they do not plan on putting Technoblade on trial, and they instead force him into an execution chamber, which has the top for an anvil to drop and kill him. So, Tubbo gives a speech, and he claims that Technoblade has robbed the country of everything that made it special through the destruction of L'Manberg. And then Puns suddenly comes in and attacks the execution site out of nowhere. And he places TNT around, and it looks like he's going to blow it up. And in a panic, Tubbo demands that Quackity pulls the lever to release the anvil. He does, the anvil drops, and Technoblade gets hit and does not die.
Didn't they take that into account that it's not an instant death?
No, they did put it up high enough that it's an instant death. Techno reveals that he did not drop everything. He had a spare totem of Undying in his inventory.
Oh.
So the totem of Undying rescued him, and he uses the anvil to escape, and he flees the scene! And as he's fleeing the scene, he notices that Dream has taken Carl. He's taken Carl, and he takes him all the way into the room where... Remember the final control room where Eric betrayed all the L'Manbergians in the beginning? Dream has taken Carl all the way to the final control room, and he allows for Techno to escape with Carl. All right, and Dream says, "You owe me a favor for this," and he leaves. Yeah. However, before Technoblade can escape, Quackity catches up to him. And Technoblade taunts Quackity. And he says, do you think this would really work? Did you think you could kill me? And the two of them duel. Now, Technoblade only has a pickaxe on him. Now, Quackity has a whole ass axe, which is much better for combat than a pickaxe. However, Technoblade wins the duel. He screams, "I have a pickaxe, and I will put it through your teeth!" And he kills Quackity, taking Quackity's first canon life, and gives him a scar up through his eye and his mouth. That stays there. It's pretty freaking awesome. So, Technoblade escapes with Carl, and he makes his way back home. And Quackity's pissed off, rightfully so, and he blames, who else? Dream, for letting Technoblade escape with Carl. So the Butcher Army then holds a meeting where they realize that Dream, not only did he help Technoblade escape, he paid Puns to disrupt the execution. Because Puns is a mercenary, remember, he goes where the money goes. He doesn't care about sides, he just goes with whoever pays him more. So they discovered that Dream paid Puns to disrupt the execution. And they want to kill Dream. However, Tubbo says, we can't just up and kill Dream. He's really powerful, we can't do that. So, they decide to hold a festival that is secretly disguised as a plan to kill Dream. And they call this festival, they say, we're going to call it as it's a celebration of our friendship with the Dream SMP. So after this, Tubbo's freaking exhausted. And he goes to visit Tommy in exile for the very first time. However, when he gets there, all he finds is destruction and Tommy's huge dirt tower. And he assumes that Tommy has killed himself.
No!
I love how, like, genuinely distraught you are by that. Because that's how everybody felt.
Oh, man.
So he assumes that Tommy has killed himself. Now, Techno returns to his base and immediately finds Tommy in, like, 2 minutes. And Tommy tells Techno all about exile. And he says, I have a plan though. I'm gonna get weapons, I'm gonna break out, and I'm gonna kill Dream, and I'm gonna get my disc back. And Techno's like, yeah, that's not gonna work. You're not gonna win against Dream, dude. He's Dream. You're screwed. However, he says, I've got a plan. Instead, he says, you can either leave my cabin and return all the stuff you've stolen. Hi. Is that? Alright, so he says, you can either leave my cabin and return all the stuff you've destroyed, or you can team up with me, and we're going to destroy L'Manberg for good. Because, you know, it's Tubbo's fault that you were exiled, so you should want to see them destroyed. And Tommy is a little unsure about this. He still cares about Tubbo, he's not sure, but in the end he agrees to reluctantly team up with Technoblade. And Technoblade says, alright, I got something I want to show you. I haven't shown to anyone. I haven't even shown this to Filza. And he takes him to a secret chamber that's in the side of a mountain, and he opens up the door, and it is covered wall to wall in wither skulls. There's hundreds of wither skulls. And he claps him on the back and he says, welcome home, Theseus. And that is the end of that particular era. It's not the end of the arc, just the end of the era. I just really like that ending point of welcome home, Theseus. Okay.
What? Wait, so what was the Wither Skulls? What was that all about?
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Oh, wait, okay, so I didn't miss anything.
No, you did not miss anything.
We're all confused.
The Wither.
All right.
Okay, okay, I'll take the this is a good, like, little break point. Any questions?
I feel like I have questions. How do you spell Punz' name again?
P-U-N-Z. Puns.
Alright, I spelt it with an S. How do you spell Fundy's name again?
F-U-N-D-Y.
Okay, I got that one right. Alright, I'm good.
Do the 3 lives also apply to Dream?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many lives does Dream still have again?
All of them.
At this point? All of them, right?
Yeah,
all 3.
Alright, so we gotta do something about that, right? That's a problem.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem. Alright.
Man's been... yeah.
Okay. So,
life has been just a little bit too easy for my liking.
Yeah, we're gonna do a few things here really quick. So Ranbu joins Ghostbur, and they take friend to
Wait,
Lamanberg.
All right, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna remove Ranbu from my cool people list. Thank
What?
you.
Why is he not cool? He's helping Ghostbur.
He's hanging out with Wilbur, you know.
This isn't Wilbur. This is Ghostbur.
All right, you know what? That's a fair point. I'm adding him
Ghostbur is
back.
a sweet little angel who I would protect with my life. Okay?
Unlike Wilbur.
Yes, Wilbur can die in a pit. I don't care about Wilbur. I care about Ghostbur.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So, Ranbu helps Ghostbur, and they take Friend back to Lamanberg, but Friend dies along the way.
Oh.
Very sad.
Rip Friend.
So, Phil once again removes his ankle monitor and goes to visit Techno, and he's thrilled to find Tommy safe and sound. So, Tommy is safe and sound with Techno. So, Ranbu and Ghostbur also go to the cabin, and Ghostbur claims he's received a letter from Lamanberg evicting him from his home, and Ranbu attempts to defend Tubbo by stating that it never came up in any meetings. Now, Techno allows Ghostbur to build a second home outside next to Techno's cabin, and Ranbu expresses some feeling unsure about Lamanberg because he feels as though they may be becoming corrupt and using him.
Guy has a plan, and I do not like it.
What?
Jackson keeps getting kicked out for standing still too long.
I moved.
All right.
I moved.
So,
Guys gotta move.
after this...
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Here, you know what? Here. You know what? Here. Continue, Becky.
Okay. So, Techno builds a small box in his cabin for Tommy to hide in, just in
Okay,
case
that should
Dream ever comes by looking for him. And Techno and Tommy, using invisibility potions, they visit the SMP in an attempt to get back Techno's missing weapons. However, some of Techno's weapons are revealed to be on Tubbo, which makes it impossible to retrieve them at the moment as Tubbo is not online. And instead, Tommy and Techno build multiple secret bunkers under Lamanberg. So they're building secret bunkers. Now,
Oh boy.
Now Dream meets up with Puns, and he reveals that he's aware that Tommy has run away. And he returned to Locksteadshire, and he saw the giant dirt tower, but there were no items on the ground. So he immediately assumed that Tommy didn't jump. And he says that he's going to leave to search for Tommy. And he is currently leaving Puns secretly in charge of the SMP, as Puns has been the only one who has been on Dream's side in every single conflict. So Dream leaves the SMP to go search for Tommy, and Puns is put in charge secretly. No one knows that Dream is gone. So, Techno and Tommy, they are looking for dogs, because Techno wants to create a dog army to be on their side. And during this, Tommy stumbles across Locksteadshire once again and begins showing severe symptoms of PTSD. Like, he freaks out about just going near the place. It's a lot. So then when they get back to the cabin, after searching for dogs and only finding one, Dream informs Techno that he's coming to the cabin. So Techno turns Tommy invisible and hides him away in his box. And Techno allows Dream to search his cabin. And while Dream seems slightly suspicious of Techno, he just leaves the matter be for a moment, and he tells Techno, well, let me know if you see Tommy. So he leaves. And Tommy and Techno make their way back to the Dream SMP, once again invisible. And Techno breeds his dog with one of Connor's dogs. We all remember Connor? Do we remember Connor? Sonic Boy? This is Connor.
Oh, yeah.
Sonic Boy.
No.
All right, so Techno breeds his dogs with one of Connor's, and he takes the puppy. So now that they have 2 dogs, they can get as many dogs as they want. So they place the dogs in a secret underground bunker to begin forming the Hound Army. Now, Tommy begins making a cabin next to Techno's for himself, and he gets some building tips from Ghostbur. All right, so Techno's not here right now. Okay, Techno's not at the base at the moment. It's Tommy and Ghostbur. Dream arrives. Dream arrives at Techno's cabin, and he has a newly respawned friend. Now, friend is revealed to have infinite canon lives. Friend can just keep respawning.
The blue sheep.
The blue sheep can just keep respawning.
Amazing.
So Dream arrives at Techno's cabin, and he has Friend. for Ghostbur. And Tommy hides, and he asks Ghostbur to cover for him. Now, Ghostbur tries to cover for him, but his memory unfortunately relapses, and he accidentally admits to seeing Tommy around the cabin, even though he tries to correct himself. Now, Dream tells Ghostbur that he's aware that Tommy was here, and Tommy, during this, because he's invisible, remember, he sneaks out of his box and he walks right up to Dream, and he looks conflicted as to whether or not he should be happy that Dream is here. And this is a sign of the lingering effects of Dream's manipulation on Tommy. It's like actually really intense. Okay, so Dream has visited a second time. Now, Techno visits L'Manberg in order to expand his hound army, but unfortunately, he runs into Ponk, Jack, and Ant, and they accuse him of trespassing. And Techno briefly retreats, and he splashes himself with a potion, and he one-shots Ponk.
Cool.
He one-shots Ponk. This is not a canon death. And the four of them get into an all-out brawl, and Techno kills Jack so many times that he rage quits, so he's gone. And Techno chases Ant and Ponk all the way to the Holy Land. Ponk tries to trick Techno into falling for a trap in the Holy Land, but it doesn't work, and Techno knocks both Ant and Ponk into the trap and kills them both.
Are those canon deaths?
No. So Techno goes back to the cabin, and Dream arrives at Techno's base to interrogate him about Tommy's whereabouts. Now, before Techno gets there, Dream looks through the house that Tommy built, and he attempts to talk to Tubbo, but the voices in Techno's head continuously interrupt before Dream can reveal his knowledge of Tommy's whereabouts. Literally for 10 minutes, Techno just sits there, and every time Dream starts to talk, he goes, thank you so much for the 5 tier 1s.
He was walking down the prime path before getting here.
Well, actually, Techno streams on YouTube Gaming. He's not a Twitch streamer. He's a YouTube streamer.
Dang.
But it's still really funny. Like every time, like Dream starts to talk, and Techno goes, "Thank you so much for the $5 donation." Go ahead, Dream. And Dream goes, "Okay, well, I was saying thank you so much for the." And it's like 10 minutes. It's so
That's
funny.
a good. You know, that's a good strategy. Whenever my arch nemesis tries to approach me on something, I should just thank people for the 10 gifted
for the $10
subs.
donations. Yeah, it was great. All right, so Dream reminds Techno that he owes him a favor, but he doesn't cash it in quite yet. And then Techno mocks Dream about being homeless and drives him away. That's real. Anyways, we're going back to the egg for a little bit, boys. All right. So, Bad and Ant discover the corroding obsidian surrounding the egg, and they decide to form an experiment as to what the egg will do to different blocks. So they place down a piece of red wool, a piece of white wool, and a piece of blue wool, and they cover the egg with a second layer of obsidian for safekeeping, locking the wool inside with it. And the next day, the two check on their experiment, and they find that the red wool has turned white, the white wool has stayed the same, and the blue wool has turned red. All right, so that's like a fun little experiment thing. Oh, shit. Okay, hang on.
Interesting.
So, Phil, once again, removes his ankle monitor, and he begins working on a basement in his L'Manberg home. Now, Tubbo logs on, and he visits Phil's house, and he finds the ankle monitor decidedly not on Phil's ankle, and Tubbo makes a new ankle monitor with the curse of binding on it and forces Phil to equip it. And he also attempts to have him wear a helmet monitor, but after several failed attempts, he just gives up and starts helping with the basement. So, Techno then travels to L'Manberg to rescue Phil. So Techno kills Tubbo as the two are working on Phil's basement, not a canon death, and he and Phil escape using invisibility potions. So now Phil is no longer with L'Manberg, he's with Techno. So, also a little thing, after being told he was homeless, Dream gets really upset and Puffy builds him a house. So Puffy has built Dream a house. That's such a good mother. Very good mother, providing for your son. Okay. For your horrible, horrible son. Anyways.
Horrible, terrible son.
Alright, so back to the egg. Bad discovers that the egg has corroded the second layer of obsidian, so it's broken through the second layer of obsidian. So Bad and Puns they team up and they take holy water and protective robes, I'm not making this up, from Church of Prime. And they use them to protect themselves from the effects of the egg. So they're in holy robes, drinking holy water. They are protected.
Did you say prime robes by chance?
Yes.
Did I mishear you?
Yes.
So
prime robes.
if they get prime subs, that gives them even more protection, right?
Sure. So they use these robes to protect them from the effects of the egg as they take down the second layer of obsidian and discover what's going on. The egg has absorbed the first layer of obsidian.
Oh, great.
And that sends the two into a panic. So they flee the room and they border up the entrance with obsidian, keeping people out. And they also build a decontamination chamber at the entrance of the cavern, full of holy, and they fill this decontamination chamber with holy water, so that people can enter and exit the room, but they like cleanse themselves before and after, so they aren't affected by the egg's whole business. All right. So, in smaller news, Skeppy announces that he is officially moving out of the Badlands, and he's no longer a member of their faction. Tommy returns to Logstedshire in an attempt to face his PTSD, and he builds a cobblestone monument declaring his fears conquered, but he still seems a little unsteady, because, you know, you can't fix PTSD in 2 minutes. That's not how it works. So, now we get into some fun shit that a lot of people enjoy, and I miss. Dear Carl, please bring this series back. Let's see. I'm getting some heads here. Okay. So, Carl sets a timer, and he, Bad, Sam, George, and Fundy all team together to build a city in a single hour. George names the new city Gogtopia, and they manage it. They build a whole city in an hour. It's really impressive, and it's really cool. But when the hour is up, Carl asks everyone to stand on a platform. They admire their work, and then he takes TNT and destroys the city. And he renames it The Town That Never Was.
Yo, Kingdom Hearts! Whoa!
Is that a Kingdom Hearts reference? I've never played Kingdom Hearts.
There's a place called the World That Never Was, and that's where all the nobodies live.
Oh, nice. All right, so this is the town that never was.
Yo.
And all right. So this becomes the first episode of a side series that connects to Carl's lore called Tales from the SMP. We will talk more about those as they come out. So, let's see. Techno crafts a turtle helmet, and he decides it looks ridiculous with his skin because when he puts it on, it completely covers his eyes. So instead, he gives it to Tommy. So he gives it to Tommy as a late Christmas gift. And Techno is worried about people potentially finding the Hound army. And he decides to transfer them to a different secret bunker. So the two load up on invisibility arrows and set out towards the SMP. However, they are caught by none other than Sonic Boy. So Connor spots them on their way to Manberg. So in order to get him to stay quiet, they kidnap him and hold him hostage. They put him through several rounds of torture.
What does torture look like in Minecraft?
They put him in a container and they fill it with water so he can't breathe.
And then, like, he
but then
suffocates.
They stop it right before he dies, and then they let him.
So Minecraft waterboarding.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
got it. Pretty much. Okay, so he holds them hostage. They hold him hostage. They put him through several rounds of torture. Ranbu then catches them. So Ranbu catches them, and he seems a bit indifferent to Connor's suffering, as Connor is not a member of L'Manberg. However, he agrees to bring them to Tubbo, because their goal now is to use Connor as a hostage negotiation so that they can get back Techno's weapons. Now, Tubbo is shocked to find Tommy alive, because, you know, he assumed he'd killed himself. And Tommy berates him for not visiting him in exile. And Tommy also discovers Tubbo's role in Techno's execution and is angered by his actions. So Techno trades Connor for his pickaxe and his multi-shot crossbow. So the negotiation goes very well, all things considered. So the two head back to the community portal. However, they are stopped. And Dream finds them. And Dream demands that Tommy comes with him. And he reveals that he has regained ownership of the cat disc. So Dream has the cat disc again.
No!
So Tommy calls him out on his manipulation, and Dream threatens to burn the disc if Tommy doesn't come with him. And at this point, Techno stands up, and he says, well, you know, Tommy going with you is going to be a problem, because, you know, this guy's with me, which is frickin' awesome in so many ways. However, he does say, I will tell you, you do have I owe you a favor. You can cash in that favor right now, and that could be enough to change your mind. To change my mind. But Dream declines. He says, I have other plans in mind for that favor. And he lets him go. So, we now have the first episode of Tales of the SMP, the first official one. The Town That Never Was is considered to be an episode of Tales from the SMP, but this is the first one that is hosted under the label of Tales from the SMP. And this episode is called The Village That Went Mad. So this episode is themed as a game of Town of Salem. Do you guys know Town of Salem?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So it's themed as a game of Town of Salem, and it's set hundreds of years before Dream founded the SMP. So it's set in the SMP hundreds of years before the events of the canon. So in the canon round of the story, two characters named Jack and Bob, who are played by Ponk and Lazar, are revealed to be the murderers, and they win the game. And Robin, who is Tubbo, survives as the jester. So that's the first episode of Tales from the SMP. It's honestly the most boring. I don't like The Village That Went Mad. It's not my favorite Tales episode, but it's still pretty fun, and it's worth talking about because it's the very first episode of Tales. So, Ranbu discovers that his memory book has gone missing.
No.
So he panics, and he searches for the book, and when he cannot find it, he believes that someone has stolen it, which further spirals his fear, because he worries that anyone who reads it will discover that he has no moral backbone. He really doesn't. Man is spineless, and I love him for it, but oh my god, man is spineless. And they're worried that he's worried that he will be seen as a traitor to L'Manberg, as he's helped Techno and Phil in the past. So, after a while of searching, he finds the book in his house, but he still feels uneasy, and he says, well, I know you didn't put it there. And he ends his stream with the words, how did it move? And that's how that stream ends. So, Techno and Tommy decide they're going to commit some minor terrorism on L'Manberg. So they arrive in L'Manberg with Wither Skulls, and they come across Ranbu and Fundy. And they're decorating for the festival. And they say, you have two options. You can hand over the remainder of Techno's weapons, and I'll help you destroy these withers. Or, you don't give me my weapons, and I leave you to fight this thing alone. And they're like, wait, so either way you're going to spawn a wither, and then Techno spawns a wither. And this causes chaos, and Puns jumps in to help destroy the wither. So Puns jumps in and he helps destroy the wither. And Ranbu hands over Techno's remaining weapons, and Techno helps to just kill the wither. So Fundy picks up the Nether Star, and Techno and Tommy demand the Nether Star, as well as information on Tommy's discs. And Fundy hands over the Nether Star and claims that he has no knowledge of Tommy's discs, but he informs them that a festival is going to begin the next day. And that Dream is going to be there. And Dream will know where the discs are. Also Tommy considers blowing up the community house to get back at Dream. So after the events of minor terrorism, Techno reveals that he finally feels as though he can trust Tommy and he considers him to be a friend. And he reveals that he has a plot to destroy L'Manberg completely. And he says, you can join in, or you can stay out of it. I understand that this is your country and you have very mixed feelings about it. So if you don't want to, like, help destroy it, you don't have to. No strings attached. But you can join if you'd like. And Tommy is hesitant, but he agrees to stay by Techno's side and help him destroy L'Manberg in order to get his help in finding the discs. So, Tubbo finds the damage. Done by the Wither, and he and Ronbu make up a billboard to announce the laws of the land in an attempt to piss off the anarchists. So the laws are as follows. They say, the laws of the land are, we never shoot first, no armor is to be worn in L'Manberg, Bone Zone, no explosives or withers, be loyal, and no killing pets. Yes, Bone Zone is officially a law of the land. That's a real
Bone
law.
Zone is a law?
It just says Bone Zone. That's it.
I'm assuming it's a law that no one has yet to break.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless we're all breaking it because we all have bone.
That's true.
We all are bone
Right.
zones.
So we're going to get back to Mr. Ronbu. So Ronbu builds a panic room, and this is a small underwater 3x3 block shelter made up completely of obsidian, and he places 3 signs in the room to remind him of important things. The first one says, "You are fine." The second one says, "Don't choose a side, choose people." And the third one says, "Dream is the reason." And Ronbu questions why people find allegiances to be so important. He questions why Dream has always needed so much power, and he concludes that the festival will not work, as Dream always seems to have the upper hand and have power over everyone else. So after exiting the panic room and doing some more work around the city, Ronbu writes a single line in his memory book that says, "The festival is going to go great!" And then he also fills in the first page with his allegiances and who he cares about so that he can remember who his friends are. So that's a big thing. On January 5th, 2021, that's right, we're finally in 2021, everybody, the Green Festival begins. So, the Butcher Army, which once again, Tubbo, Ronbu, Fundy, and Quackity, they meet up in a meeting before the festival starts, and they agree that Tubbo will be the one to kill Dream. So a total of 11 people arrive at the festival. This includes Puns, H-Bomb, Ponk, Quackity, Eret, Nikki, Tubbo, Ranbu, Fundy, Jack, and Puffy. And the festival is declared officially open, and the guests play some party games and have a good time. However, they're starting to get on edge, because several minutes have passed, and there is no sign of Dream. And they confirm, and Tubbo begins to get nervous. He's like, well, did he find out? Did he find out about the plan? Because if he found out about the plan, then I would understand why he wouldn't come. But they all say, no. The plan never left this circle. Dream should not know what's going on. So while the festival is happening, Techno and Tommy, they make some plans to brew invisibility potions, and they intend to spy on the festival. And Phil stays behind, but he gives Techno his trident, and Techno decides that since he can trust Tommy, he gives Tommy his axe of peace, and he has stated that Tommy has proven himself worthy to wield it. So, why did I put George down? It's supposed to be Ronbu. Okay. So, Techno and Tommy, they arrange a secret meeting with Ronbu, who informs them of the happenings of the festival, and he tells them that Dream promised to arrive, and he said that he would follow L'Manberg's rule of no armor. And Tommy believes that this is a perfect opportunity to kill Dream and retrieve his discs. However, Dream logs on, and he's still wearing his armor, and he begins rebuilding the obsidian walls around L'Manberg. Dun dun dun. And so the cabinet confronts him and says, dude, what the hell? What's going on? And Dream says, well, you see, Tommy fucked up. So Dream leads the festival to the community house. And when they reach the community house, they find that the community house has been completely destroyed. And Dream claims that Tommy destroyed the house. And Hello?
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 Hey? Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
How much of that did you hear? Have I just been talking to myself?
No, I've been listening.
Okay, I just got worried because I heard the doo-doo, and I thought like maybe Discord had disconnected me and I was talking to no one.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Aw,
Oh.
sad. Ezri has to leave.
Let's meet a stopping point so we can check recording again.
Okay. I'm almost done. Once we get done the festival, that's a good stopping point.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, okay. So, alright. So, the community house is completely destroyed. And the cabinet says, well, we have no affiliation to Tommy. You can't punish us because we exiled Tommy. He's not a part of L'Manberg anymore. And Dream says, yeah, I know that Tommy's not here anymore. But Tubbo still has one of his discs. Therefore, it's Tubbo's fault that this happened. Because he can stop Tommy with the power of the disc. And Tubbo's like, I mean, how is this my fault? You were placed in charge of Tommy's exile. This is not my fault. And Dream says, well, I only have one disc. And that's not enough leverage. You need to give me the last disc.
Tubbo. No.
And so Tommy puts on armor, and he reveals himself, and he jumps down into the argument, and he denies the claims. And Techno follows after him in order to defend him. And he says, Tommy wouldn't lie to me, okay? He didn't blow up that house. However, Tubbo is tired of all this, and he reaches for his ender chest to give the disc to Dream. And Tommy and Tubbo break out into an almost explosive fight. They start fighting each other, and everyone's watching. And the fight ends when Tommy suddenly yells that the discs were worth more than you ever were. And he stops. And he appears to be, like, completely horrified with the sentence that has just left his mouth. And he immediately apologizes. And he says, you need to give that disc to Dream. He says, I don't like the person I'm becoming. I don't think I'm becoming a good person. And Tubbo hands the disc.
What, because he talked down Dream? Is that why? Because he was like, yo, Dream kind of sucks, lol.
No, he was yelling at Tubbo.
Oh,
He was
Tubbo.
yelling at Tubbo.
Tubbo? Who? Tommy was yelling at Tubbo?
Tommy was yelling at Tubbo.
Okay, alright.
Yes.
I got confused with who was who.
So Tubbo hands the disc over to Dream. And Techno says, alright, well, if we're gonna escape, we better escape now, Tommy. Let's go. And Tommy says, no. I'm standing beside Tubbo. I don't like the person I'm becoming. I want to stay with my best friend. And so he's essentially betraying Techno in this moment. And Techno is hurt by this, and he's like, alright, I guess this is a 1v30, and begins to prepare to fight. But Dream interrupts him, and he says, Tubbo, I just want to say, you're the worst president ever. As Tubbo has just handed all the power to Dream, because Dream now has both discs. And he was only preserving L'Manberg because the disc was there. And now that he has it, he's free to destroy it.
Oh no! No!
Yes. So, Dream also suddenly turns around and says, by the way, Ronbu's a traitor. And he says he was conspiring with Techno and Tommy this whole time. And Techno and Tommy were like, what? No, he didn't. And like trying to cover his tracks. But then Dream suddenly reveals that he has a copy of Ronbu's memory book. And Ronbu panics and opens up his own memory book, and all he finds in the memory book is a single smiley face on the front page. Which is kind of fucking horrifying. So now that Dream and Techno's goals align, they agree to form an alliance to completely destroy L'Manberg the next day at a specified time, just to give people time to say their goodbyes. And Techno requests his axe back from Tommy, as he states that he's no longer worthy to wield it, and Tommy refuses. And Tommy tries to warn Techno against siding with Dream, but Techno states that his goal has always been to destroy L'Manberg. and he leaves.
Whoa! I gotta show you guys something. You see, I got an in with the contractors at Shaka. So I know all about like the ins and outs of this place. Come on, follow me. As you can see here, we got a full-blown minecart system installed here that will take us straight to the cool place. Now I'm in adventure mode, so I need someone else to place a minecart for me.
There's minecarts in this chest.
Oh wait, hold on.
I can't
guys.
place them
Gotta
though because
get
I'm in
Ezri
adventure mode.
And Tyler.
I'm heading out. See you later, boys.
Yeah, I'll just like, there you go. Now, who's gonna place my minecart? Because I can't place mine.
Bye! You should have thought this through.
Hey, do it. Oh shit.
Ooh,
I like having power.
I'm gonna do it, Tommy, guys.
Oh boy. Oh shit.
Oh, that's harsh. Oh.
All right. No! Let me in! Let me in! Thank you. Please don't close the door behind. No!
I can break it, silly goose.
You are now
whatever.
Trapped.
Here we are.
You must sit and hear me explain the rest
Green
of the Dream SMP with no breaks. Haha. Anyway, so with Dream and Techno now planning on destroying Lemberg, the rest of the members of the server attempt to ally together to stop them and pool resources at Eret's castle. Now, Nikki challenges Tommy's history, and she accuses him of lying about the community house, but Tommy swears on Church Prime that he did not blow it up. Now, regardless of this, Nikki continues to blame Tommy for destroying everything she's ever known or cared for, and she decides to refuse to join the fight against Dream and Techno. Now, Ranbo tries to defend himself, as he believes he can still help everyone on the server he cares about, but several members push back, and they call him a traitor. And Ranbo shouts at them, because he claims that they are choosing sides rather than choosing people, and he believes that Dream will always have power, and that fighting him is useless. But he does agree to help. Now, Quackity pulls Tubbo aside, and he says, look, man, we gotta execute this guy. He's a traitor. We can't have him around. We gotta execute him. And Tubbo says that the execution will be treason. And he harkens back to his own execution. Because, if you remember, Ranbu was helping to decorate the Green Festival. And Tubbo says, wow, so we're executing a man in the very same festival that he helped decorate? And that doesn't sound familiar to you? Because that is exactly what happened to Tubbo. So, Ranbu flees to his panic room. And he monologues to himself along the way, and he tries to rationalize the other server member's opinion. However, when he's in the panic room, Dream's voice suddenly appears in Ranbu's head.
Literally just like a green block on green blocks.
Yeah, it doesn't really work in here, does it? But Dream's voice appears in Ranbu's head, and it acts as the second part of his monologue. Breaking glass because I want to get up here. So it acts as the second part of his monologue. And Ranbu asks the voice if he did the wrong thing, and the voice says, yes, you did. And the voice tells him that in trying to choose everyone, he unintentionally chose a side, and ended up hurting everyone he wanted to protect. And then the Dream voice tells Ranbu that he was the one who burnt down the community house. However, Ranbu firmly denies this, and Ranbu panics as he doesn't realize what he's going to do the very next day, and he blacks out in the panic room. January 6th, 2021. Doomsday.
Oh, I remember that day.
Doomsday.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, it's certainly Doomsday.
Alright. So this is for you, man.
Very interesting.
H-bomb!
Yo!
Is the very first thing that happens on Doomsday. As he wonders who is the right side to support. What are you doing?
Put him in my inventory.
No.
Okay.
He wonders who the right side to support is. And he goes to Nikki to discuss his dilemma. And they discuss whether or not Tommy is trustworthy. And the two of them agree not to fight in the war. So neither of them fight. Now Fundy logs on. And through a very intense monologue, he realizes that he believes that there's no true place for him on the server. and he decides that the war is pointless, and he intentionally brings a creeper to the remaining war supplies in Eret's base, and he destroys what little is left. And now Nikki and Fundy meet up at Eret's base, and they're both in agreement, and they both also convince Eret to not join the fight. So, these guys are all not joining the fight. Now, while that's happening, Techno and Dream are preparing their supplies. And they decide that they're going to go to L'Manberg 30 minutes before they said they were going to catch any defenses off guard. And Phil decides to come along with them. And now Techno is very concerned about Phil's involvement, because here's a fun fact for you. Phil only has 1 canon life. He did not lose the other 2. Phil is known for being a hardcore player. He's a hardcore survival player. He had one world that went on for 5 years in hardcore survival. So from the very beginning, he only has 1 canon life. So Techno is immediately concerned. However, Phil insists that he joins because he has his own score to settle with L'Manberg. And now the plan is made that Phil will spawn Withers, Techno distracts any remaining defenses, and Dream will set up TNT machines to rain TNT down on L'Manberg from an obsidian grid that he has built in the sky.
Why is Techno and Phil a part of this?
Because Techno has always wanted to destroy L'Manberg, and Phil has his own score to settle. They put him under house arrest. They forced him to kill his son.
Oh yeah.
He has a lot of
I'm thinking like, but like Fundy is there and stuff, right?
Oh, Phil doesn't care about that right now. Phil has
beef.
Okay. Phil has
all right,
beef.
I gotta. That's not based.
Phil has beef. So, Quackity also questions whether fighting for L'Manberg is even worth it. However, he realizes that this is still a chance to take Dream down, and he does not want to back down yet. Alright, so now, Tommy meets up with none other than Sapnap. Now, Tommy has gone out in search of Mars the fish, and he found Mars. And he meets Sapnap in the remains of the community house, and he asks for Sapnap's help in the war. And he says, if you help in the war, I will return Mars to you. And Sapnap agrees, and Tommy returns Mars to him. And the Doomsday War officially begins as Techno announces his arrival 25 minutes early and engages in combat alongside his Hound army. Now, Tommy attempts to take charge as several Withers are immediately spawned in by Phil. However, and he leads the small army of L'Manbergians, which consists of Tubbo, there's Quackity, there's Sapnap. There's not many people fighting for this thing anymore. So I think there's someone else, but I can't remember who else fought for them. So I'm just gonna say small army. Okay, so they plan on taking out one Wither at a time, but they cannot keep up with the rate that Phil is spawning in Withers. He's spawning these things in every 10 seconds. Like a new one pops in every 10 seconds. There's no way they can keep up with it.
That's some speedster type stuff.
So Quackity notices that Nikki, Eret, and H-Bomb are watching from afar.
Oh, that's what the Wither... Wait, that's what the Wither Skulls were for!
Yes.
Wait!
Yeah,
Yep.
Roland.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm a little slow.
So, okay. So, Quackity notices that Nikki, Eret, and H-Bomb are watching from afar, and he attempts to rally them, but they refuse to stay out of the fight. And Fundy arrives at the scene, and he laughs at the destruction. Now, Techno, as he's traveling through, finds one of Ronbu's memory books, and Ronbu panics and heads over to Techno. However, Techno hands back the book, and he tells Ronbu to get out, because they're not there for him, and Techno spares his life. So Ronbu runs. Now it's Dream's turn. Dream activates all of the TNT machines. There's about 20 of these things, and all of them are raining TNT down on L'Manberg. They're all full of 9 stacks of TNT each, and they are all falling on L'Manberg, and it is completely demolished as Tubbo watches in shock. And Tommy has a screaming match with Techno as TNT rains down on the nation, and they both yell at each other over who was in the right and who was in the wrong, and how they both felt betrayed by the other's actions, and Techno launches a firework, killing both Tommy and Tubbo. This is not canon deaths. And then Nikki appears on the scene. Do you guys remember Leman Tree? The tree that as long as it stands, so will the country?
Oh, the lemon tree.
The Leman Tree.
Oh, right.
Not the lemon tree.
That happened in the earlier
tree.
festival. The
Yes.
festival before that last
They
festival.
found the Leman Tree and they boarded it up and they said, as long as the tree stands, so will the country.
That didn't stand, did it?
Nikki burns it down.
No!
And she says, it was never meant to be.
It was meant to be. You're just cringe.
You're just cringe.
I don't know.
Right.
Why?
So after this, while this is still happening, Ghostbur logs in. And Nikki does not know about Ghostbur. So she sees that Wilbur has logged in, and she has a mental breakdown, as she believes that this is a hallucination. And she runs to her bakery in Lemanburg, which is still standing, and she destroys it, as she is wishing to completely destroy Lemanburg from her memory. So Techno declares that the war is over, but Dream continues to light TNT, because he says, I want this destruction to go down to bedrock. Alright, so Ghostbur is heartbroken by the destruction, and especially by Phil's part in it, and he demands to know why he did it, as Phil knew that everyone was living in this town. And he breaks down into tears, and he says that he was the most hurt by the destruction of Lemanburg, despite having nothing to do with the actions that caused its fall. Now, gotta get rid of Sapnap here. So, Tommy, Tubbo, and Quackity make their way up to the Obsidian Grid, where Dream is still setting off TNT. And Tommy disables one of the machines, and he confronts Dream, and he calls him a monster, because he said, you just wanted to get back at me. There was no reason to extend the suffering to all the people of Lemanburg. And Dream says, I'm going to be traveling away for a while, because I think there might be a few revenge plots after me for this, and I just want to avoid that. And he says, the story between you and me is never going to end, because you're just too fun for me to kill. And he leaves. So Tommy and Tubbo resolve that their top goal is now to defeat Dream and take back the discs. And Tommy, Tubbo, Quackity, and Ghostbur all come together at the top of the Obsidian Grid, and they sing the Lemanburg National Anthem one more time and send off the country for good. That's the end of Lemanburg!
Yo!
That's not the end of the SMP.
Yo!
That's just the end of Lemanburg.
It's good, yeah.
Yep. So, let's
suck it, Green Boy!
Well, no, Green Boy won.
Yeah.
Green Boy destroyed everything.
We're gonna beat him, though, right? He's not... you tell the story.
Give it time. We're gonna keep going. Don't worry. So, Ronbu reflects on the events of the war, and he finds 2 unlit blocks of TNT by the war site. And he picks them up, and he writes in his memory book, why do I remember this? Why do I remember TNT? Why that specifically? And that's going to come back later. So, Ghostbur then admits to Tommy, Tubbo, and Quackity that he wants to be resurrected. He wants them to bring back Wilbur. And Tommy and Tubbo leave to begin preparing to face Dream. So, Quackity, Ghostbur, and Errett, actually, if I can find Errett's head. There it is. So, Quackity, Errett, and Ghostbur discuss potential methods of resurrection. And Errett suggests that maybe if we kill Ghostbur with the same weapon that we used to kill Wilbur, we'll bring Wilbur back. And they set a date to make an attempt later. Now, let's talk a little bit about Jack Manifold. Now, Jack Manifold. during the Doomsday War, he is killed. And that is his third and final canon death. His first was the final control room, and I honest to God can't remember what the second one was. What? He died 3 times. Doomsday was the last one. And he begins falling through the universe as the karmic forces of the world begin dragging him down to hell. Literally.
That's what happens when you lose all your canon lives.
However, Jack is angry about his death, and he believes that he has unfinished business leaving behind. He has unfinished business. And so instead of becoming a ghost, he forcibly crawls back out of hell and returns to the server with 3 new canon lives. He just does this. Like, he's just like, yeah, I don't want to do hell. I have stuff to do. And he leaves, and he gets back 3 canon lives.
Yeah, alright. Why doesn't Wilbur just do this?
Yeah, that's a joke I made. That's actually a joke I made once where We'll get to that later, but I made a joke on Tumblr where I was like, Wilbur's like angrily going, so you just walked out of hell? And Jack's leaning against the wall drinking a Capri Sun, and he goes, what, like it's hard? Yeah, but anyway, so that's what Jack's doing. So Jack goes and he finds Nikki, and they both agree that they're glad to see L'Manberg destroyed, and they decide to team up to teach Tommy a further lesson, as they both blame him for destroying everything they care about. So anyway, that's what's going on there. Here we go, and here we go. So Phil finds Ronbu, and Ronbu's wandering around the now abandoned ruins of L'Manberg. And Phil, he recognizes that Ronbu's home was in L'Manberg. So he says, do you need a place to stay? And Ronbu says, yeah, I do. I really need a place to stay. So Phil offers him to stay with him and Techno. And Ronbu accepts and marks Phil and Techno down as friends in his memory book. So Tubbo. Now, ex-president, your country's a crater once again, and your country doesn't exist. What do? That's right, you start a new country, because I guess if it didn't work the first time, we're going to try again the second. So Tubbo, in an attempt to optimistically look at the destruction of L'Manberg as a new start...
Oh, wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, what happened to El Rapids?
El Rapids is still a thing, we're going to get back. It's just kind of there. El Rapids is just kind of there. You'll find, too, a lot of the times on this server, they start things and then abandon them.
Yeah.
Ronbu actually talked about that 2 days ago. He was like, there are a lot of storylines that I've had to abandon simply because we couldn't get everyone on the server at the same time. We couldn't get all the people on the server that we wanted at the same time, so we had to abandon certain storylines. Which is really sad. But we're gonna get back to El Rapids in a little bit. Don't you worry about that. So Tubbo is trying to find an optimistic way to look at the destruction of L'Manberg as a new start, and to distance himself from the chaos and the painful memories. And he takes most of his supplies, and he takes them to a snowy island not too far from the prison. And he builds a cabin, and he claims the island under the name of Snowchester. So now there's Snowchester. Tubbo's living in Snowchester. So Tommy finds Tubbo, and he reiterates that now is the perfect time to begin preparing to go after Dream, as Dream has virtually no allies on the server. Everybody hates Dream. It's like everybody hates Chris. Everybody hates Dream. So Tubbo is hesitant because, you know, they both only have 1 life left. If they fail in this, they die. And they die for good. But Tommy worries that the window of opportunity will close quickly. So Tommy and Tubbo move in to Tommy's base, the L'Manberg Embassy, while preparing to face Dream. Ronbu builds a home in the Arctic, close to Techno and Phil. And Ronbu takes Squeaks. Y'all remember Squeaks the fox? He takes Squeaks to the embassy for Tubbo. And Tubbo attempts to take Squeaks back to Snowchester, but Squeaks is killed in a creeper explosion on the way. And Tubbo builds a grave for him in Snowchester and begins construction of a tower. Then it is revealed.
Ooh.
What was that?
What was
I thought that was you, Becky.
That was not me.
Jackson's just playing us a little ditty.
What? Did you hear a noise?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a guitar.
My bad. I'm sorry. It
was sick,
fucking
dude. Play it again.
on my my mic stand. My bad.
Okay. So anyway, it is now revealed that Sapnap now has the Axe of Peace because he retrieved it in the chaos during Doomsday. So Tubbo takes Ronbu over to Snowchester, and he builds a tower, and he plans to use this tower to try and fix Ronbu's memory issues. They attempt to use lightning as a form of electrotherapy to jog Ranbu's memory, but they quickly realize this won't work because lightning doesn't work in a snowy biome. And Tubbo also suggests submerging Ronbu in ice water, but Ronbu declines this, and he says, "I'm part Enderman. Water and me don't mix." He says, "The only reason I can go into water is because I have my armor. So Ronbu with no armor in water is not a good mix, essentially."
It is bad. Yeah,
it's very bad. It burns him very horribly. I don't know if this is where, because I don't have it marked anywhere else. They also confirmed that canonically, Ronbu has scars going down from his eyes. They're tear scars. Every time he cries, it burns him because of the water thing.
It's based.
Yeah, it's pretty. It makes for some cool fan art, but. Alright, so they also attempt to jog Ronbu's memory by dropping an anvil on his head, but this also doesn't work, and Tubbo comes to the conclusion that human methods will not work on Ronbu because he's not human. He's an Enderman. It's not gonna work. Alright, so after this, we go back to Carl. Carl hosts another episode of the Dream of Tales from the SMP. This is titled The Beach Episode, and this episode features George, Sapnap, Dream, Ronbu, and Bad, and the five of them go on a treasure hunt for pirate treasure. That's the episode. It's fun. It's a cute one. I like it. I wish Ezri was here, because we're going back to the egg! We're going back to the egg! So Bad has checked on the egg, and he discovers that the vines have now taken up the entirety of the cavern. The Skeppy statue that he built down there has turned entirely red, and Bad is starting to realize that he's being affected by the egg's powers, and he turns around and he flees the room. And he theorizes that the egg's effects have become considerably more potent since locking it inside of the cavern, because it has nowhere to go. So it's just getting more potent in there.
Question.
Yes.
Destroy it?
Not yet. I don't know why, but not yet. Trust me, I would have destroyed this thing a long ass time ago. I can't believe they still haven't done that. So,
well, because he's like, dude, egg cool though.
Well, not right now. He's not.
Oh, well, no,
yeah,
okay.
Like egg bad.
It's just.
All right. So, Eret builds a small shrine to Wilbur to help with the resurrection. And Phil, Ronbu, Eret, and Ghostbur all attempt to resurrect Wilbur. So the four meet at the shrine, and they're joined at the last second by Tommy. And they attempt to recreate the moment Wilbur died, including saying the same things that Phil and Wilbur said to each other. And after deliberating, now Ghostbur is a bit afraid. He doesn't want to die. He's a bit scared. But he decides that despite his fear, he must die, and he allows Phil to kill him. Now, after a few moments of silence, Ghostbur returns, and he claims that he saw darkness, as well as two people that he didn't know. And the group tries a second time to revive Ghostbur, with Fundy now joining in. And they accidentally make contact with Glatt, who is the ghost form of Schlatt. And he tells them to fuck off. Quite literally. Because he doesn't want to be revived, because in his afterlife he gets as much booze as he wants. So he says, fuck off. I don't want you here. I don't want to live. I want to be here. So Ghostbur returns a second time, and the group decides that the best chance of reviving Wilbur will likely be with a Totem of Undying, and Ghostbur claims that he needs rest after all of that, and he leaves. So, that's that revival. Tubbo invites...
Ed, you
Jesus
gotta
Christ.
move around a little.
So Tubbo invites Jack to come to Snowchester, and Jack is planning on getting revenge on Tommy. So he accepts Tubbo's invitation as he's eager to get close to Tubbo, and by extension, to Tommy. Now Tubbo seems suspicious of Jack's motive, because he has a brain, but however, but he continues to trust him with plans for Snowchester's future, regardless. Now, Ronbu returns to his panic room, and he has another mental breakdown upon re-entering, and the dream voice enters his head once again. And the dream voice leads him to mine out some obsidian from the wall, and he finds a hidden chest containing TNT. And the dream voice claims that Ronbu helped to blow up the community house, and also willingly gave his memory book to Dream. So that's that situation. He's not building lemon trees, he's doing lore. So Ponk confirms that
Is he just never gonna build a lemon tree? Is he just done with that part of his life?
Lemon trees. He's done with lemon
All
trees.
right, he's moving on.
Yeah.
He's growing up.
So Ponk confirms. Do you remember how I said in the Tales from the SMP there was a character named Jack, who was played by Ponk? Ponk confirms that Jack is his ancestor. That's the lore for today for Ponk. He's doing great.
Oh, that's it?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Wait, Jack's the guy with like the weird glasses and the mic thing, right?
No. There's a character from Tales to the SMP named Jack.
And then there's also
Different
just
Jack.
the Jack in this. There's two
Jack with
Jacks.
headphones, yes.
Okay,
It's really confusing.
Good, important clarification. Thank you.
Okay. Now, Ant Frost and Bad meet up with Skeppy. Okay? So, Skeppy demands to see the egg, and they relent, and they take him back to the lore, to the room, not the lore, and Skeppy screams with joy, and then logs out. Now, Ant and Bad, they fear for Skeppy's sanity, because he's clearly enthralled with the egg, and that's worrying on a number of levels. So they meet up in Church Prime, and decide to figure out how to cure Skeppy.
Oh.
Now, oh no.
They don't move around.
We're losing students
It
one
actually
by one.
wasn't. I wasn't kicked because of that. It just disconnected me for some reason.
Okay.
So, Ant once again suggests killing Skeppy, as he's worried that Skeppy is now a threat to the SMP, but Bad once again refuses, and the two track Skeppy down, and they force him to bathe in holy water, but this does nothing. So, Ronbu and Techno bond a bit. Ronbu gives Techno a replacement for the Axe of Peace, and Techno's Hound Army accidentally kills one of Ronbu's Enderman friends named Edward, and then it is revealed that Ronbu can speak Enderman. As he states that he enjoyed talking with Edward.
Yeah, of course he could speak Enderman.
Yeah, you would think it wouldn't be a big shock, but it's actually really cool. There's an entire Enderman alphabet that he types.
Like the enchantment table text, or
I think it's different actually.
All right.
I'm not sure though. Don't quote me on that one. I've never looked at the similarities. So, Ronbu also reveals that he has discovered a stronghold. Now keep in mind, end is barred off. No end. That's a rule. No end. But Ronbu,
so if you go in the stronghold, there shouldn't be an end portal in there.
No, there is an end. It's a rule that Dream said. Dream said if you find a stronghold, don't go into the end.
Oh, so he's just breaking. You know what? Screw Dream. Go in it. I don't care. Be with your family.
So Ronbu be with your family. So Ronbu reveals the stronghold to Techno. Now, remember how I said Puffy built Dream a house? She burns that down.
Unbased, honestly.
She burns it down in retaliation for what he did to L'Manberg, and Puffy officially renounces Dream, even though she claims it breaks her heart because he's.
Oh, that's based. That's based.
Yeah, she straight up disowns him.
Yeah, that's based.
Yeah. All right. So, Bad. Here we go. Bad Ant, Puffy, and Puns. Let me get Puns here. And Puns, they all have a meeting. Bad convenes a meeting in a round table that he built in Puns' backyard to discuss the egg. Now, Bad has a proposal. He says, why don't we let the egg go free? He says, let's let it go free. It'll wreak havoc on the server, and it will destroy all of the other attempted factions. And once it destroys all of the other factions, the Badlands can sweep in and take over. Okay? So Bad also invites Puffy and Puns, because they're not official members of the Badlands. Puffy and Puns, he invites them into a temporary alliance with the Badlands, because he claims that this plan could create an entirely new empire that has no single leader, but rather is led by all of them as a council that has equal say on all decisions. Now, Puns and Ant immediately are on board with this plan. However, Puffy is more hesitant, but in the end she does agree to join this empire, and they call it the Eggpire. And the four of them go down, and they release the egg, even though Puffy admits that she does not believe this is the right move. She fears that Bad has gone mad, which is a great sentence. They also destroy the decontamination chamber, and they plant seeds around the server to allow for new growth. So Bad returns to the table alone. And he reveals that he has been completely corrupted by the egg. He removes his skin. It's completely white. He changes his skin. This red skin was a disguise. It has been completely white. And he also reveals that the round table that he built for the meeting was placed directly above the egg, therefore allowing its influence to affect those at the meeting. Kind of a big brain plan, to be completely honest. Like, it's pretty intense.
Yes.
Oh, no.
What is his name again? Bad. Let me put him in the bad list.
Bad boy Halo. Alright. So Ronbu decides that he's going to go back to the panic room, and he's going to confront the Dream voice. And because he refuses to believe that he helped Dream. And the voice reveals that Ronbu has actually blacked out several times. And each time he wakes up back in the panic room. And when he's blacked out, he moves around and he does things that he never remembers. So the Dream voice tells him that he met up with Dream. And not only did he meet up with Dream, Dream gave him Cat. And told him to hold on to it for him. Cat the disc.
Wait, so Ranbu has the disc?
Wait. So Ronbu decides that if he has the disc, then it means that he did blow up the community house. And he goes to search through his things. Now, he's in a panic as he's searching for this. He's digging up his entire yard. He can't find the disc in any of his chests, so he starts digging out the yard in search for hidden chests. And he begins to calm down a little bit because he doesn't find any. He doesn't find any chests. And he's like, well, I don't have the disc. That voice is lying. And then he digs up one more block and he finds the chest. And inside the chest is Cat. And he immediately blacks out. In panic. Alright, also, Jack and Ranbu convert the memory tower into an electric chair. That's something they do.
Oh.
For fun. Alright, so now we got some new members coming in. We got Foolish. This is Foolish G. He joins the server. He's a very good lad. I like Foolish.
I can't not tell what his skin is supposed to be.
He is a totem of undying with a shark helmet. Yeah.
Okie dokie,
He's a weird one, but we like him. Alright, so Foolish is here. Remember Foolish, he's going to get more involved in a little bit. So, Tommy gets an urgent message from Dream, and Dream says, log on. There's something important you need to see. And when he logs on, he finds that his base has been lit on fire and turned to Netherrack with a message left behind. And this message is from Dream. And Dream tells Tommy to meet him at an undisclosed location that Wednesday. And he says, you can bring Tubbo. You have to bring Tubbo, but bring no one else, or else the discs will burn. And he includes a compass that leads directly to the location. So, Tommy and Tubbo. Tubbo takes Tommy to the Snowchester vault. Snowchester now has a vault. And he reveals that he has Dream's old crossbow that they can use in battle. And the two agree that they need to get the Axe of Peace back from Sapnap. We're going back over to Ronbu. Ronbu appears to have completely forgotten about his previous mental breakdown, and all of the blocks that he dug out from his front yard have been replaced. Now he comes across the hidden chest once more. But instead of finding the disc, the only thing that is inside the chest is a note that reads, "Thanks," with a smiley face. And this just confuses him. That was some creepy shit to witness, okay? When we're all like, "Oh my god, there's a disc in there," and he opens it up and it just says "thanks." Okay.
I mean, we know what happened, though.
Yes,
we can
know.
infer.
We know what happened, but it's still like, oh god. So Tubbo reveals his plan to Jack on how to deter Dream from attacking Snowchester. So Tubbo tells Jack that he plans on creating the server's first nuclear weapons.
Ooh.
What? Okay. Explain to me how this works.
All right. So they're going to create nuclear weapons to use as a deterrent for Dream, and he calls it Project Dreamcatcher. Now he suggests...
Yeah, that's good. All
yeah,
right.
I like that name. So he just suggests that both he and Jack will have launch cards, which makes it impossible to set off the nukes if they are not both present.
Wait, so what are the nukes exactly in Minecraft?
Okay, in Minecraft, it's actually what they did was they retextured a stick to be a nuke, like just as a texture. And later on, they're going to test it. And we're going to talk about the test. And they tested off screen. So no one saw it actually go off.
We just saw like the
it's
remnants.
Like, this is one of those situations where it's like, we know it's not really a nuke in game. Just go with it.
Yeah, but like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like this is a role play. Stretch your
imagination. Repeat to yourself, it's just a show, and you should really just relax.
Yeah, exactly.
Mystery.
Like this is a role play. Stretch your imagination. This is like kind of the deal with the nukes. So, Tubbo tells Jack that when he finishes building the nukes, he wants to test one in a location far from the SMP just to make sure they work. And Jack asks for the coordinates of this test, and Tubbo hands him over.
Guys, by the way, you might want to move around a bit so you don't get idled out.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Just a reminder. There you go, Ed.
Oh, I can't punch.
Jackson.
I moved, Daddy.
Okay, just making sure.
All right, so Jack, now that he has the coordinates of this test, he immediately goes to Nick, and he tells her everything. And the two make their plan. Their plan is they're going to lure Tommy to the site of the nuke before they are launched. Man. And they're going to catch him in the blast and kill him. So that's their plan.
Based. I like it.
All right. It's actually a pretty good plan when you think about it. Like,
just nuke Dream, honestly.
Yeah, let's just nuke him. All right. So, Phil and Techno decide that they're going to build a secret organization of anarchists. So, Phil and Techno, they explore the nearby stronghold, and they find a portal to the end. Now, in canon, they do not know what this is. Like I said, the end is blocked off in canon. So they don't know what this portal is. And they said, why don't we just turn it into like a fancy table? It could be like a fancy table for our organization. This is my favorite, like, almost blooper in the entire server. DreamXD logs on and completely destroys the portal as he fears that Techno and Phil will activate it. And the two plead innocence as they claim they simply wanted to make a table. And DreamXD returns and builds the portal in a way that makes it impossible to activate. Apparently there's a weird thing where if you place the portal blocks in certain directions, you can't physically activate it.
Yeah.
So he builds it in that way. It's actually really funny because both of them completely break character and they're like, we were just gonna build a table, man. Can you please give that back to us? And then after he replaces the portal, Techno goes, okay, the last 10 minutes have been erased from my memory. Whoa, what's this? And it's like a whole thing, and it's really funny, actually. Okay. So, Techno then names the organization the Syndicate, which Phil approves.
Oh,
and Techno
that's
writes up a
good.
document outlining the Syndicate's purpose. Yeah, I love the Syndicate. The Syndicate's great. All right, we got a new face on the server. Hannah X Rose. Hannah XX Rose. This is Hannah. She's new.
Hannah
XX Rose. She's new. Okay. So, we got a little... Oh, did I delete his head? Shit. Oh, no. No, I didn't. There it is. Okay. So, Foolish. We're meeting Foolish. He stops by Snowchester, and Tubbo asks him if he'd like to join. And Foolish accepts. So now Foolish is in Snowchester, and he begins to build a house in Snowchester. The other thing that happens to Foolish is that Bad finds him. And Bad shows Foolish the egg, and he attempts to get him to join the Eggpire. However, Foolish appears to be unaffected by the egg, and he isn't sure whether or not to join the Eggpire. Now, Bad attempts to convince him to spend the night in the cavern with the egg, but Foolish refuses and declines Bad's offer to join. So, here you go, Roland. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Oh.
Are you ready? So H-Bomb logs on, and he discovers that Tommy has stolen many of supplies because he believes them to be Eret's. And this annoys H-Bomb. Now, H-Bomb has been living in Eret's castle this whole time. So Tommy thought that all of H-Bomb's supplies were Eret's. And H-Bomb decides to move out of Eret's castle, and he start a new life far out from the SMP, as he believes that no one on the server acknowledges or cares about him. So that's where H-Bomb's going. Okay. So, Tommy, Tubbo, and Sapnap, now they all meet up. And Sapnap agrees to help the two fight Dream. And he hands back the Axe of Peace. So now the Axe of Peace is back with Tommy and Tubbo. Nikki! Now remember how I mentioned that Nikki, it's a long time ago and it was only briefly mentioned, so I won't blame you if you forgot. Nikki was building an underground city for war refugees?
Oh yeah, I do not remember that, no.
Yeah, that's fair. She's still doing that. So Techno, then, meets Nikki in her underground city, and he invites her to join the Syndicate. Now, Nikki is unsure, and she reveals her plans to kill Tommy to Techno. And Techno tells her to get back to him once her mission with Tommy is complete. So he understands. He's like, yeah, I get it. I want to kill that guy too. So Jack and Tubbo. Now they're working on warheads. So Tubbo shows Jack several of the nukes in their facility, and he gives Jack one of the key cards to launch it. And the two build terminals to launch the nukes from off the docks of Snowchester, as well as head out to the test site and they mark it with cobblestone. So they're basically just preparing to launch these nukes. They're basically just preparing to launch these nukes. So, now, if you recall, Puns has been working as a spy for Dream.
Yep.
Alright, so Puns heads into his tower, and in his tower he finds a sign from Tommy telling him to check the 7th floor. So Puns goes and checks the 7th floor, and he finds a chest full of diamond, gold blocks, netherite ingots, and TNT. And there are notes from Tommy saying that Tommy doesn't trust him, but he knows that he goes where the money goes. So he hopes that the payment will be enough to sway him to stay on his side. He's been grinding for this for days, and he hopes that it will be enough. Now, Puns has been working as a spy for Dream, but he realizes that in this one payment that Tommy has given him, it is more than Dream has ever given him. And as
okay.
And as a mercenary, he considers switching sides to work with Tommy. Now, Tubbo decides that he wants Snowchester to gain independence. And he tells this to Ranboo. And Ranboo says, I don't know if that's such a good idea. Because, you know, the last time a country was like, we want independence, it ended up in this whole war, and, like, the whole place got blown up, and it was really, really bad. And Tubbo shows him the results of Project Dreamcatcher. And he's confident that Ranboo will forget the details. So, he's like, cool, I'll show you all this, because you'll probably forget what's going on. So now, January 20th, the day of the disc confrontation. So Tommy, that's not Tubbo, and Tubbo take a tour around the Dream SMP, and they say their final goodbyes. And as they head out onto the Prime Path, they find that several of the SMP members are waiting for them along the path to say goodbye. It's actually really sweet. So, and several of them give them gifts. Sam gives them Turtle Master potions. Quackity and Tommy share a nice heartfelt moment where they agree that they're like their friends. They've been teammates. And Eret apologizes for all his past betrayals, and the two accept their apology. And Tommy tells Eret that she is the true king of the Dream SMP, which is really sweet in the moment. So it's nice. All right. So the two are traveling to the disc confrontation, and Tommy thanks Tubbo for everything he's done to help him. And he claims that Tubbo is not simply a sidekick, and they are equals. Because before this, it's hard to explain because, like, I've been going through everything as fast as I can. But Tommy and Tubbo have, like, been together since the start. They're, like, really best
I've
friends.
noticed.
Yeah, they're like, really best friends. And people used to say that, like, Tubbo is Tommy's sidekick. So this moment in which Tommy's like, you're not just a sidekick, we're equals, we're in this together, it's really nice. So they follow the compass all the way to this deserted mesa biome. It's this huge tower, and they climb up this huge mountain, and they find Dream waiting at the top. And
He's standing up there like a pillarman, just
literally,
staring at them.
Literally, it's
all
great.
Right.
So the fight begins, and Dream plays Mellow High to taunt them, and Tommy manages to grab the disc, and he hides it away. But as the battle rages on, the two begin to get low on resources, and Dream is still standing. Now Dream taunts them, and he claims that he hasn't even begun trying. And Tommy's like, that's a lie, then try. Try then, if you haven't even begun to try. And when he begins trying, he almost kills Tubbo. He leaves him cowering in a corner with like 2 hearts left. And Dream takes him hostage, and he demands that Tommy return the disc, or he will kill Tubbo. And remember, Tubbo only has 1 life. So if Tubbo dies, that's it. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Is it getting claustrophobic?
Why is there a hole in the ceiling?
Is it getting claustrophobic in here?
I'm gonna have to communicate with upper management about that. We might have to get that fixed.
All right. So that's why he wanted Tubbo to come along, so he can use Tubbo as a pawn. Now, Tubbo tells Tommy not to go through with it. He says, I've lived a good life. Don't give over the discs. However, Tommy refuses to allow Dream to kill Tubbo, and he hands over the disc, and Dream forces him to remove all his items, just like in Exile, and blows them up in a hole. Don't go in. Okay.
Wait, so Tubbo's dead?
No, Tubbo's not dead.
Oh, wait, who blew up then? Did I miss that?
No, Tommy handed over the disc. Dream let Tubbo go. And Dream made Tommy remove all his items and put them in a hole and blow them up.
Oh, so the items blew up.
Yes, the items blew up. So Dream taunts the two, and he reveals that they are powerless, and that the copy of Melahai that Dream had was not the real one. And he reveals to Tommy that he blew up the community house to frame Tommy and tricked everyone into not coming to the beach party. So Dream forces the two to follow him, and he leads them to an elevator system that drops the 3 down into Dream's secret vault, where the real discs sit, as well as predetermined places for the beloved items of everyone on the server. I'm talking pets, I'm talking weapons, anything that anyone cares about. There is a special place in this vault waiting for it. And Dream says that Tommy is the key to attachment, and that before he showed up, no one cared about items, and no one cared about the server. However, now that they do, he can use those attachments to hold power over everyone else. And he says...
That's kind of true.
Yeah. And he has cut all of his own attachments. He doesn't care about anything anymore. He doesn't give a fuck about spirit.
It's Zahir!
Yep.
From Korra! You gotta let go!
So he has cut his own attachments so that no one can reverse the power onto him. He then tells Tommy, remember Pandora's vault? The giant prison he's built? It's been built for him. So that he doesn't have to kill Tommy. So that he can continue bringing attachment to the server. But that Dream can still hold power over him and keep him locked away and keep him from causing trouble. So he tells Tommy to say his final goodbye to Tubbo, as he will be killing him. Because Tubbo, to Dream, is nothing more than a pawn. And Tommy doesn't want to, but Tubbo accepts defeat. And he says, you know how he called me a pawn? This is checkmate. We have no other options. So the two of them accept defeat. But before Dream can do anything,
Yeah, he's back. All right.
Puns arrives. And he says, sorry, Dream, but you really should have paid me more. And then, everybody in the server, almost every single person who has ever been on the server, shows up all at once. Everybody, I'm putting people in here who probably weren't there, but like the idea is that
there's a lot of people.
Yeah, the point is
hopes and dreams and shit.
Yeah,
hopes and dreams starts playing.
Yeah, exactly. All of these people start showing up, and they're all in full netherite armor. And Tommy and Tubbo run to hide behind them. Now Dream attempts to go after the two, but oops, I forgot one member because he's supposed. These two need to be here because they're part of the story. But Sapnap stops Dream. What? Oh. I'm sorry.
Nice.
Okay.
Jackson suited up for this fight as well.
Excellent. So, Sapnap and Puns force him back, and Tommy and Tubbo grab the real discs. Now the army sees the planned contents for the vault, and they're horrified by this, because, oh my god, you're planning on taking all of our stuff and, like, holding it hostage? That's ridiculous. So they corner Dream, and they tell him that they are tired of dealing with his actions. I have to be a little bit quieter now, because my dad just told me to be quiet, so... So, Tommy comes forward, and he's now confident that Dream won't kill him, because Dream just said, I don't want to kill you, because killing you would destroy all attachment. And he asks for Sapnap's netherite pickaxe, and Sapnap hands it over. And Tommy digs a hole in front of Dream, and he says, well, you know the drill. Put your items in it. And it is an awesome turnaround of everything that Tommy went through in exile. So Dream puts everything into the hole, and instead of destroying them, Tommy takes all of Dream's items, and he kills Dream using the Axe of Peace. Now, this is only Dream's first cannon.
Yeah, but we got a cannon death on him. Yeah. That's important.
However, he comes back down, and he says, I know you won't kill me for good. And Tommy immediately kills him a second time.
Ooh.
And says,
wait!
And says,
that's a cannon death too, right?
Yes. And says, I'm going to kill you until you're permanently dead. And Dream comes back through the portal. And Tommy blocks the portal, and he removes any possible escape. Now Tommy goes to kill him a third and final time. And in a panic, Dream reveals the contents of the book that Schlatt gave him. It's a revive book. And it gives him the power to revive anyone on the server. Now Tommy doesn't believe him, but Dream continues to reiterate that without him, death on the server will be permanent. And he says, I could bring back Wilbur and anyone else who ever dies. Now this gives Tommy pause, and he's not sure what to do because
Kill Dream.
That's important. But Sam, he steps forward, and he says, "Why don't we put him in prison?"
That's a possibility.
Now Sam confirms that the prison is inescapable, and Tommy says, "Well, let's do it." So Dream is led away by Sam, Sapnap, and Bad. Tommy and Tubbo return home, and they have the discs. And Dream is locked away in prison.
Yes.
Now, while Tommy and Tubbo are sitting on the bench, listening to Cat and Melahai, suddenly they hear Wilbur's voice. The real Wilbur. Not Ghost Burr, but Wilbur.
Wilbar.
And they just hear his voice. And he starts speaking to them. And he says he doesn't know how he's being able to speak to them, but that he's glad to do so. And that he's proud of them for locking away Dream. Now Tommy and Tubbo tell Wilbur that Dream can revive him. But Wilbur immediately tells them not to. He tells them not to revive him, and that he warns them that Dream will use the power to potentially revive Schlatt and all other villains on the server, and his voice fades away as he continues to yell at them until he disappears entirely. And that is the 4th arc.
4? But aren't there 5?
Yep, there's one more.
I think this is a good stopping point.
Yeah,
for now.
I know. That's why I was gonna say if you want to stop here,